Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Whoops, I just knocked over my light, but I hope you are all doing well. We are here for the Currie Cup once again, round 3. It is going to be the Western Province taking on the Sharks, and it should be a very exciting game. Like I mentioned, hope you are all well. It is at Cape Town Stadium for this matchup, and it should be starting in around 5 to 10 minutes time, which does mean we are only a few minutes away from kickoff. But yeah, I am excited for this match. Should be one of the better matches of this round. Unfortunately, because of the cases in the Cheetahs camp, I believe it was, the last game was called off. All the points go to the Blue Bulls, but we have still got this game, and then we have got the game a bit later on between the Pumas and the Griquas, I believe it is, but I don't think I'll be doing that game because we have got heaps of rugby in the Southern Hemisphere coming up, and I'm not sure whether I'll squeeze it all in, but I am just getting the reserves and also the starting lineups up for you guys so you can see exactly who is going to be out on the field. This is the Western Province starting lineup that they have gone with in this matchup to take on the Sharks. We have got 2 people in the chat so far. We have got Joshua there playing in my hometown tonight, rainy, windy Cape Town. So that doesn't sound like it's going to be very nice conditions. And we have also got Scrumlass in here as well. Welcome into the live stream. Thank you very much for tuning in. And also, sorry for not coming into your videos because I'm busy, and like and subscribe to him as well, says Rugby Six Nations, and welcome in to you too, mate. It is good to see you all here. It is currently sitting at 2:52 a.m. here in New Zealand, but I didn't want to miss this game. Felt like it was going to be a very exciting one, and I have a feeling that that will be the case. Should be a high-scoring one between these two sides as well. Hello there, Sharks today, all the way from Phillip as well. And speaking of the Sharks, we'll put their starting lineup up for you guys as well. This is who they have gone with. They've got some very good players in there. Of course, they are missing Apalele Fase. That is because he is going to be playing for the Springboks, taking on South Africa. That's not the name. Taking on Georgia. That's going to be a 5 a.m. game here in New Zealand, but I have a feeling I am going to be getting up for that one as well because it should be a very good match. But yeah, looking through the starting lineups, I feel like the back lines of both of these sides, I think that they're going to be the danger zones. Maybe the likes of Pretorius and also Marius Lowe in that number 12 jersey could be very lethal, as well as Sinatla and Werner Koch at number 14 with Sergio Peterson and Mani Labok making up the back. Then we have got the reserves. For some reason, they have got 24 there for the Western Province, but I assume that they will be getting rid of one of them at some stage for this match. But yeah, I will also put up the table for you guys so you know exactly who is leading. And at the moment, it is the Bulls. Of course, like I mentioned, they've received those 4 points for finishing, I guess you could say, for finishing that last game with a win. It is because it was a default from the Cheetahs, but this is how the table is sitting at the moment as well. We have also got Jacobus in the chat as said hello there. Go Western Province as well. And yeah, it's going to be interesting because of the fact that the Sharks, I feel they'll really want to get a win here, but the Western Province, they've been playing decently, and if they can continue playing decently, they will have a decent chance of being able to take that first place position. But I will mention, if you haven't already, be sure to leave a like on this live stream. Also, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I am quickly getting everything up and running so that we are good to go, as well as possibly going with our usual poll that we do in the chat to decide who is going to be winning this matchup between these two sides. Yeah, I am excited. The Springbok side was also announced very recently alongside Georgia, and I will say straight away, Georgian names are not my forte. I couldn't pronounce half of them, unfortunately, but the Springboks, they have got some very good players that they are going to be using in that match up against Georgia. Like I mentioned, that is only going to be a couple days away as well. So, yeah, I am excited for that one. But yeah, nonetheless, we are getting close to when the kickoff will be taking place. I will quickly create my poll. Who is going to win the match? And I have actually typed it out not too bad, fortunately for myself. Normally, I end up messing up because of the pressure. Oh, yeah, no, messed up on Province, unfortunately. Right, Western Province is going to be one choice, and the other choice is, of course, going to be the Sharks. Be sure to let me know in that community poll who you think is going to be winning this match. Shark to win by 20 points is the prediction from Aiden early on in this one. And yeah, at this stage, we are only around 5 minutes away from kickoff as well, which means it is going to be very exciting very soon. We'll change the color of this so that we are more of a Stormers color, although I am a little way off. There we go. That's a little bit closer. And I will quickly make the banner. But at this stage, it has just started coverage here in New Zealand. But we are around 5 minutes away from kickoff, I would think. But it should be, I think it's going to be a high-scoring one. We are due for a high-scoring one between these two sides. And yeah, I think it is going to be this one right here. Hopefully the typing isn't too loud, by the way. I've noticed that I am quite a loud typer, unfortunately, when it comes to smacking the keyboard. I am a master, by the way. How are you doing, Hamish? How was your day? It was good. It's been busy. The amount of rugby that we've got on here in New Zealand coming up over the next couple of days, as well as around the world, it's going to be a busy weekend, that's for sure. I'm not familiar with either of these teams. I'm going to go with the Sharks. I mean, Sharks are a very good pick when you are trying to decide in terms of what creature in the ocean would have a decent chance in a fight. But also the Sharks, I feel like overall, they are probably due a big win as well. Promise to win. Why high scoring? Weather is not good as well, says Joshua. I feel like I'm just hoping that we do get to see like both sides just going back and forth, breaking the line and able to find the gaps. But of course, with the bad weather, maybe it will slow them down a bit. But then I think also both sides will be looking at that points differential, because we saw in that first round how aggressive all of the sides have been. Tell you what, I've just seen how windy it looks as well. And I feel like maybe it's going to be close anyway. I think is going to be my prediction. Maybe not high scoring, but I think it should be a close one between these two sides. And that's just something that I think throughout the Rainbow Cup South Africa, it's put my mind into the realization that most of these games end up being extremely close between these two sides. They're normally pretty even in terms of the South African sides facing off. We will show the Western Province lineup once again for you guys who are just tuning in now. But yeah, I do appreciate you all being here for this live stream. We are probably around only a couple minutes away. They are showing the Western Province lineup at the moment. I'm looking through. There's a few good players scattered throughout that one. Edward van der Merwe, I know, was one player that a lot of people thought was going to break into that Springbok side. And then also they got Sinatla out on the other side. Ifan Ruas in that number 8 jersey has been strong throughout the Rainbow Cup as well. Then looking at the Sharks, and they have got a good side as well. Someone who they are missing are the likes of Buthelezi. I'm not too sure whether that is injury or whether he's been called up to the Springboks. I don't know whether he has, though, but he did play last week, and he was the captain, or the week before, sorry, and he had a very impressive game there. And at this stage now, they are going to be running out onto the field very soon. These are the reserves as well. And we have got Sharks to win 27-18 as well. And not familiar. Oh, I read that one. And by the way, Hamish, you had a little typo in the email. It's you had a wee email typo, and it's AG Gilronis. Gilronis, I think is the pronunciation, not AU. I love too much Aussie rugby on my mind. Tell you what, there's plenty of Aussie rugby coming up as well, with Wallabies taking on France. That's going to be a good one. Edward van der Merwe is absolute heat. Yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do over the next couple of years. I feel like he's going to be one of those rising stars of South African rugby, and he is certainly a name that we need to take note of. But here are the benches. That's not the benches, that is the table, which is what I was meant to say. And at this stage, the Bulls are sitting in first. They had the default win over the Cheetahs recently, and that is why there wasn't a game before this one, and why this game has been moved to only 3 a.m. New Zealand time rather than 5, which I'm pretty thankful for, because 5 a.m. is quite late. But, of course, we are used to 5 a.m. starts here on the Kiwi Lads channel from all of the rugby that we've had on in past weeks. And it's going to continue with the British and Irish Lions tour as well. We will put that up. Western Province 0, Sharks to 0. The match hasn't quite kicked off yet, but they are showing Ernest van Rijn at the moment, and he will be hoping to lead his side to victory here, as he is the captain of this match, just making sure everything is running smoothly as well, which I believe at this stage we might be, which is very nice to see, because we have had quite a few technical difficulties in the past little while. As some of you guys will know who know the late night live streams, normally by now my Wi-Fi has just kind of cancelled itself out, and that is why it sometimes doesn't go that great. But they are also showing Diamani. He is in the number 7 jersey for the Western Province for this match. And, of course, that is because of Pieter-Steph du Toit. He is in the Springboks camp, getting ready for the match up against Georgia. At Cape Town Stadium, you can hear the rain, you can hear the wind, and now it's going to be getting very close to getting underway. It is going to be Rasivinga, I believe is the referee's name. I feel like out of all the people out on that field, the referee's name is the one that I struggle with the most. But at this stage, only moments away from this match getting underway. Round 3 of the Currie Cup, first game because of the last one getting cancelled. We are underway now, and it's going to be kicked off by Kerwin Bosch to get the Sharks underway. It's only just gone the 10. It's been going through the hands of Sinatla, and straight away the Sharks are in possession 30 metres out from the Western Province line. Going to be Mani Labok, goes back to Bosch, looking for the backline movement. Nice little offload out to Werner Koch, out on the wing, and he's trying to break the tackle though, but he is dragged down by Ifan Ruas. Henriksen now going into the hands of the big man, number 3, which in this one is Machunu. And at this stage, the Sharks looking like maybe it looked like they were going to set up for a kick there, but instead now they are going to be going out the back line. I think that is the better option early on in this match, but straight over the ball was the Western Province player, but not quite able to get hands on it. Another good tackle on the number 4 of the Sharks. Hendrickson goes back to Bosch. Now looking for that back line once again. A little kick in behind. That's a terrible kick from the number 13, unfortunately for him. It was Jeremy Ward. He's kicked that one straight into touch, and not just into touch, it's out on the full. So from the halfway line, it is going to be the line-out throw of the Western Province. We have also got in the chat, well, morning, Hamish, early start for you. Sounds like you got the flu, mate. And I did. Unfortunately, I ended up getting a cold around, I think it was the day of Moana Pacifica. No, sorry, Manu Samoa taking on the All Blacks. And unfortunately, that one wasn't too straight there. And because of it now, it is going to be the scrum feed for the Sharks. But yeah, I ended up getting a cold, unfortunately, earlier on in the week. But luckily, I've almost got over it at this stage, which means hopefully my voice will last all through this live stream and also through the ones of the weekend. Yeah, not a very straight one there for Fenta, which means now it is going to be the scrum feed of the Sharks. We have also got Mapimpi, just got the first try, says Aiden, although he isn't actually playing this match, Mapimpi. He was in the Springboks camp, but unfortunately, due to being a close contact with one of the cases, it meant that him and also Lucanio are going to be missing that match up against Georgia, which is unfortunate for them. But in his place, out on that wing, they have got the combination of Fakir Abrahams on one side in that number 11 jersey and Werner Koch on the other side. And I feel like Werner Koch would actually be a very good shout for being able to score a try early on in this match as well. Definitely with the set play opportunity here off the scrum feed of Hendricks for the Sharks. That's a good push from the Western Province, and it's going to be a penalty. And in the end, they just went down in the front row. Unfortunately for the Sharks, that means Western Province are going to have the first advantage at scrum time, and it was Mona, who they are looking like he wasn't too happy there, Quincy Mona. We have also got in there Vut as put with the question mark and South African flag, I believe it is, as well. And yeah, at the moment it is 3 a.m. here in New Zealand as well for that early start for me. And we have also got in there, you're having a good evening. I just woke up 9 a.m. here in, it would be in, I always forget the name, Albuquerque. I feel like it's a good name to be able to remember, but I always forget it. Werner Koch to score try or score first as well from Philip, and glad it's only the flu and not COVID. Glad you're getting better as well, says Bertie. And yeah, that's the thing I find for myself while we are waiting for the scrum, or sorry, this line out to get underway. It's going to be a 5 metre out one for the Western Province here. So they've got a very good opportunity of being able to score early. It's being taken nicely by Van Ranen, and now they are going for that rolling maul. Looks like from here they are getting squeezed towards the touchline, but now they're starting to drive a little bit. Getting very close, only a few meters out now, and they're going to drive once again. They're getting wheeled sideways. They're only a meter short here, and the Sharks have fallen all over it, and because of it, if they can't get this ball out, no, it is at the back now, and it's going to be available for ball to vet. Now they are driving forward here, the Western Province. I probably called them as Stormers a couple times as well, accidentally, but now using the forwards once again, trying to find that gap to vet. Goes back now to Ifan Ruas, trying to drive his way forward. The ball's gone into the hands of the captain, Van Reenen. And at this stage, it's popped out, and it's going to be a penalty to the Western Province. And I believe it was the player, no clear release from number 7 in this one, which is Bully. And now they are only 5 meters out. Are they going to go for the corner once again here? Or do they decide to take on the early 3 points? They're taking on the 3. And it was also there in the chat. Good morning. Then it's 5:03 p.m. here and enjoying the coffee as well. But yeah, at this age, what was I saying? I was saying how when I get a cold, I seem to be hit hard for kind of like 3 or 4 days, and then it goes away. Whereas I know some people end up when they get a cold, they kind of have that cold for like 2 or 3 weeks. Like, I think that is kind of one thing that my friends used to be jealous of me at school, was the fact that I'd get a cold and then I'd just be back up and running in a few days' time. We have got in there as well, Stormers to lead first, says Jakobus, and that is a very good guess because of the fact that if they do get this kick here, they will be leading this match 3-0 after the 5 minutes. Also, anyone who hasn't already, give me your predictions in the chat of who is going to be the first try scorer in this match. That one has gone over from Tim Swell, and because of it now, the first points are on the board for the Western Province, and they are leading this match 3-0 at Cape Town Stadium. There we go. We have updated that as well, and we have got their Stormers. I'm not too sure what this says, Kenneth. You may have to translate that one for me as well. I'm not sure whether that's going for the Stormers or going against the Stormers. You will have to let me know, but that one has been kicked off by the Sharks once again. Or it's a little knock on, I believe. No, it must have gone sideways there from the man in the number 15 jersey for the Western Province. Paul DeVette now going to be firing this one high. Sinatla chasing it hard, trying to line it up, taken nicely by Mani Labok, though, but he is lined up by Sinatla, who drives them to ground just inside of their own half here. Are the Sharks. Oh, it's a good run there from Ernest van Rennen. Oh, sorry, that is the wrong side. Van Yerden. Sorry, is the name. Cool. Bosch now with the little kick in behind, found a bit of space, but it is going to be bouncing up nicely for the Western Province player, Swill. He has kicked it high. Oh, that's being chased very nicely. There's no one around as well. Almost taken, but great take there from Jaden Hendrickson to save it for the Sharks. Goes out now into the hands of Werner Koch. Quick hands now. It's going to be the man, Jeremy Ward, down the wing. Tries to fire it on the inside, but it is taken back by the Sharks by Paul DeVette. And at this stage, this game is going back and forwards, and it's going to be a penalty to the Sharks once again. Whoever's got Mapimpi to score the first try for the Sharks today, as well, says Aiden. Although he isn't actually in the starting lineup, Mapimpi, or in the reserves, this is the Sharks starting lineup. The name that you can't see is the man in the number 15 jersey, which is Mani Labok for this one. So that is the Sharks. Mapimpi, he was going to be in the Springboks camp for the game up against Georgia, but unfortunately, due to him being a close contact of a case, it means that he has been ruled out of the match. And then for the Western Province, the names that you can't see are the men on the front row, which I assume you guys may not be backing to score the first try, unless, of course, it is Fenta, because of the fact that a rolling maul of the Western Province was looking dangerous early on. But it was just pressure on DeVette. And then from there, straight on the ball with the Sharks number 2, which in this one is Mbata. And he was able to get that penalty for a side. Great body position. And now they have been rewarded with this line-out throw, about 35 out from the Western Province line. Taken nicely. Going to be fired back now to Hendrickson, who was first receiver. A little offload back, but now it's going to be in the hands of the Western Province. Stolen once again. So Natla gets an ugly pass, and it's going to be taken nicely. And it is going to be offloaded. Oh, tell you what, that could have been a try. What happened there? They are going to be going upstairs, right? Mani Labok almost had a certain try there. And it was going to be Thakur Abrahams who did have that ball down the wing. What happened was he tried to offload it on the inside. And they are saying maybe it was deliberately knocked down. On-field decision is the try. Is it going to be awarded? That's a big question. They're going upstairs. TMO getting involved early on in this match. I feel like I'm too excited for this match, and I keep on messing up my words at the moment. Right, so Natla wasn't able to take it in the end. It was Abrahams who was able to. Then from there, he tries to pass it backwards. Oh, it hits the finger of Mani Labok, but did it go backwards? Sergio Peterson putting him under pressure. Mani Labok was throwing the hands up straight away. Trying to say that maybe, because that one is going to be claimed by Abrahams. So then from there, fends off Sinatla, offloaded back on the inside. Or it hits Mani Labok's hand, but does it travel forward? It does travel forward eventually, but was the first momentum going backwards on that ball? And then did Jeremy Ward actually get that one down, or did it bobble before he was able to put it down? There is a lot that the TMO is going to have to go through here. And we have got Ukez watch. He will come in after the 20th minutes, and they will make an emergency call that as he can't play for the Springboks, come play this game as well, says Aiden. But yeah, at this stage, Abrahams in the number 11 jersey for the Sharks, almost able to get a try for his side here with the offload to Labok, but the ball did end up going down. Then they've got to check this grounding of Jeremy Ward. He's actually lost control of that ball, I think, there, Jeremy Ward, which unfortunately for him would almost be a knock-on against the Sharks. So they had about 3 different opportunities there, the Sharks. But unfortunately, all of them, I think, are going to go against them here. And it is going to end up being a little knock-on, and the Western Province will end up with that scrum. So it is the knock-on for the grounding rather than the one that did go out of the hands of Mani Labok. They did say that that one was backwards, but it is going to be a scrum feed for Western Province, only a few metres out from their line. And straight away, they are going to be under pressure here because of the fact that Western Province, they're only 5 metres out from their line. This scrum feed of the Sharks, they are a dangerous side, although it did go down in the front row for the first one. So they want to make sure they're nice and stable here and creating a bit more pressure on the Western Province, only a few metres out. I mean, the Sharks need them more than the Springboks, to be honest. As well, says Aiden, I actually do have the Springboks lineup. I'm not sure whether I have got it here in the all of my little pop-ups. I'll see if I can find it while we are waiting for the scrum feed to go down, because if I can, you will be able to see that lineup for the South African side, and they are looking strong, like you mentioned. It is going to be a hard day at the office for Georgia. I don't think I've got it here yet. I think I've got the reserves, which seems weird, but I will get that up for you guys a little bit later on. But yeah, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you are new as well. The scrum is going down here now. Western Province at the moment have a 3-0 lead after 8 minutes, and they will be hoping to extend that. But first, they've got to get out from their own 22 with a good clear and kick here. Paul DeVette puts the ball into the Western Province scrum. They are trying to push in the front row, going back now. And it's going to be Pretorius now, trying to get himself a few extra meters so that DeVette can clear the ball. He's under pressure, though, but he has got the kick away very nicely there, Paul DeVette. And it is going down to the halfway line. It's going to be in the hands of Abrahams once again, trying to find a bit of a gap, and he has almost done so, but he is going to be ragdolled there into touch. And now it's going to be the Western Province who have got the line-out throw. And that is one problem when you are a winger and you are one of the smaller players on the field. When one of those big boys get their hands on you, you are getting thrown around a little bit. And that is what he found out there. But represented South Africa under 20s. They have shown there Abraham, so possibly an exciting young prospect as well for the South African side. But that's the thing. The Springboks, they have got a lot of good players at the moment. And it is shown in that game that they're playing up against Georgia. They haven't even got the likes of Mapimpi, Colby. All of those guys aren't in those lineups. Well, that's an awkward one for Hendrickse. Going to be back to full volley now. Another step from Abrahams, but he is lined up by the number 6 for the Western Province. 45 out from their own line at the moment here. The Sharks, Hendrickse goes across now into the hands of Van Yerden. And going back now into the hands of Bosch. Decides to give it to Labok, who puts it on the left boot and does kick it high. It's being chased by one of the big forwards for the Sharks there, but it's taken nicely by Sinatla. Goes now to Sergio Peterson, running sideways, breaks the tackle there of Van Yerden as well. Very nicely done, but they are still inside of their own half. The Western Province, Tim Swell puts it on the boot, kicks it towards the touchline. Kerwin Bosch, plenty of time, takes it nicely, almost fakes the kick, but instead is tackled very nicely by Cornell Smith there. The Sharks at this stage still have this ball 35 out from their own line. I will read the chat in a very short moment as soon as I can, and hopefully we do have a stoppage and play. That's one thing that we haven't had too many of, other than a line out and a couple scrums. Everything else has been fast-paced rugby between these two sides, back and forth as well so far. But that is another good tackle from the Western Province. Hendrickse fires it back to Kerwin Bosch, who has put it very high there. Going to be chased by Jeremy Ward and Cock. And now it's going to be Tim Swell under a lot of pressure. And because it is slippery out there as well, anything can happen. Werner Cock almost able to get over that ball, but he wasn't quite able to win the penalty for his side. 10 minutes in at the moment. Western Province in possession once again, 40 out from their own line. Close to the left-hand touch side. Left-hand touch side, that was almost a sentence at this stage. But Paul DeVette now kicking this one high. Almost charged down by Van Yerden, goes high. Going Bosch trying to line it up, hasn't quite taken it clean, and now it's going to be a little offload, and it's going to be the hands of Van der Merwe, who has got this ball just inside of the 22 of the Sharks round the side once again for the Western Province. And they have got the Sharks under pressure in this match early on. Going across field, Svil fires it back now. Sergio Peterson, what a step that was. Now he's got men on the outside going out to Sinatla. Gets an awkward pass though, and it goes into touch. Pass was behind him, not where he wanted it. And because of it, it is a blown opportunity there for the Western Province. But the Sharks are still in a very dangerous position inside of their own 22. Right, we have got his Percy Montgomery in there as well, says Aiden. I don't believe so. Am I not wrong? Whoever's got there. Do the Springboks have an app like the All Blacks? I can't seem to find one on the App Store. Y'all just curious. I'm not too sure, unfortunately. Maybe someone in South Africa might be able to help you guys out or help you out because of the fact that maybe it might be only available in South Africa perhaps or something like that. And we have got, it looks like there used to be one, but it was taken down as well, says Scrum Lass. Interesting, because I feel like, yeah, the All Blacks have got the app. I don't know, do the Wallabies have one as well? If I'm not wrong, and they do have a Super Rugby one, I think. But yeah, not too sure about a Springboks one, but I do try and keep you guys up to date with the lineups and whatnot. The Georgian side was just announced. I can't say any of their names very well, but I did make a video on it just before. Oh, that's a nice take. Almost by Sinatla, but it's bouncing around all over the place now. And it is going to be now Paul DeVette down the wing, and no one's going to catch him. What happened there? Paul DeVette has scored the try for the Western Province. And where did it come from? I think they're going upstairs to check something, but that was beautifully done by Paul DeVette. He is in form at the moment, and I will be adding those 5 points. I don't think they're going to be going back to check anything there. Paul DeVette, 4th Currie Cup try. He just ran down the wing. No one really was paying attention to the halfback, and he made the most of it, so it wasn't quite taken there by Sinatla. Was bouncing all over the place, bouncing backwards, and then it was a little offload from the Sharks player straight into the hands of DeVette, and Hendrickson wasn't catching him from there. Try to the Western Province early on. And they are looking like they are going to be having a decent day on attack so far, the Western Province. Anytime they've had an opportunity, they have almost been taking it. And I feel like that is why maybe they are chasing the bonus point in this matchup. And we have got AB app had all fixtures and rosters, including provincial. Wondering South Africa has one. I hope they do, because I feel like that would be a very useful app to be able to use. I do use Tribe in New Zealand. I think it is only exclusively New Zealand, which kind of has all the sports. And that's kind of where I find out what time the games are on and all of that kind of thing, which is how I knew that this game was originally going to be a 5 a.m. start, but luckily it got moved to a 3 a.m. So we decided that we would hop on for the live stream as well, because I do find these ones a lot of fun for the Currie Cup. Like, you guys in the chat have taught me so much about these games, and I feel like it could continue into the future as we move through the rounds. Like, I started my Rainbow Cup South Africa live streams knowing hardly any of the players, and now I kind of know most of these guys who are out on the field, which I find pretty awesome. Paul DeVette there is going to be kicking this one high. The try scorer just outside of his 22, not allowed to go into touch on the full, and it does. So they are going right back. So unfortunately for Paul DeVette there, did one good thing with scoring the try, and unfortunately this one has now gone into touch as well. And we have got in there. I wonder what happened to my old friend of mine, Patrick Lambie. I'm not too sure who that is, Aiden. So unfortunately won't be able to help you there. It's been taken down for now. We'll let you know when it's up and running again. Do you know why they took it down, Bertie? Or was it just maybe maintenance, or is it actually like down because of some sort of like copyright or something? They let me know, but now it's going to be thrown in once again for the Sharks, just on the 22 at the moment for the line out. And it is going to be going back into the hands of Mbata. Now it's starting to roll forward here for the Sharks. The Western Province trying to defend it. That player, I think, has to leave it. He has dragged it down, and it's going to be an advantage because of it. Hendrickson goes short side to Abrahams, who wasn't quite able to find the offload to Machunu there. Getting close to the touchline now with the Sharks, but they have still got the penalty advantage. Back into the hands of the number 8, which in this one is Gumedi, I believe is the pronunciation, because of Buthelezi not being there. Hendrickson once again going on the inside to the big forwards of the Sharks, trying to drive forward 10 metres out. And at this stage, it's almost become a maul. That was how long those boys were up for. Straight on the ball was the Western Province player, but not quite able to get it in hands. The Sharks driving forward once again. Going to be Jeremy Ward running the flat line. Almost reached out, but not able to reach, unfortunately for him. And now it's going back for the penalty. I believe they are saying that it might have been a little knock on from Jeremy Ward on the ground there. Manny Labok thinking about taking this one very quickly for going back for the penalty, but instead I think they are going to be going for the corner once again. And we have also got, I think maintenance as well. And also congratulations, Western Province, 3 more for your supporters as well, says Maria, and Lambie retired due to injury. Tell you what, Birdie knows a lot about South African rugby, which is extremely useful for these live streams. Do appreciate you, Birdie, as well. And you were also the one who showed me where the Bulls versus Benetton game was when I wasn't able to find it. Hamish, he did play for Springboks as a number 10 as well, says Aiden, and also who scored the try for the Stormers. It was Paul DeVette. He did score it down the wing. The ball was kind of bouncing around all over the place, and then no one really went near him off an intercept, and he just ran all the way. And tell you what, Bolly here is going to be running all the way. He's going to get it down. Yes, he does. And Bolly scores the try for the Sharks off the rolling maul, and they have managed to get the next points in this match, and it is actually 10 points for the Western Province. I didn't add the kick, but now I am going to be adding the points for the Sharks, and they are right back into this match now. And it was Thembalani Bolly who was able to score a little offload, beautifully done by one of the big forwards for the Sharks. And then from there, Bolly, he's a very hard man to stop, gets all the way over the line. And the Sharks have scored the try. Thanks for the info, Birdie, as well, says Aiden. And also we have got maintenance. And I used to go to school with him before I moved to Australia as well, which is pretty awesome. And that's one thing I have noticed from doing these live streams is you guys in the chat, like you all kind of have your connections to the players. Like the likes of some guys who went to them or went with them to primary school and like all of those kind of things. And it was pretty awesome because no matter where you guys are in the world, like some of you guys still have those connections. And Sharks as well, says Gillian, he is, or she is happy at the moment because of this try for the Sharks. And Kerwin Bosch at the moment going to be trying to make it 7 points. And he will be waiting to see whether or not he can do so. Kicking this one, Kerwin Bosch struck it nicely and it has gone over. So now the score is going to be Western Province 10 and 7 to the Sharks as well. And we have got there, honestly, those apps are so helpful, especially for rugby newbies like me who still have no idea who or what or where or why and need that information. AB app is a great template. And yeah, I find those ones so helpful as well. Like I've actually got my schedule for like the next 5 months of live streams or so, and they are all from like using apps that were telling me all about when the games are being played and who are playing and whatnot. And Lambie are not allowed to play anymore as he'd had too many concussions, says Philip as well. No one's taken that one for the Sharks, but it has bounced into the hands of their number 8 there, just inside of their own 22. So they will be able to kick this one out on the full. It is just whether or not Hendrickse does it or LeBock, and he is going to be taking it himself here. Hendrickse almost charged down, which was danger. This is going to be an awkward one to take. No one has been able to take it, and it is in the hands of Ifan Ruas now. It was looking like he was going to get dragged down, but now it's going to be for Devet going short side now. Quick hands there, but it's taken nicely by the number 7 there, who rolls around in the tackle, and it's going to be an advantage for offside against the Sharks. And I would think maybe Western Province, with a 3-point lead, maybe they'll go for the corner. I feel like they want to be able to pour on the pressure here, pour on the points as well, get those extra points. And at this stage, oh, they're going to take the 3. And it was actually Tim Swill. He was looking at the corner and then looking at the post, and then he looked at the touchline, and there was actually the man on the sideline with the tee there ready to go. So I think that was what influenced the decision a little bit. But they are going to be going for the 3 points here as well. And we have got in there, you're welcome, mate, as well from Birdie. And also we have got, why does the Currie Cup seem like it's faster than the Rainbow Cup seemed to be very slow scoring as well, says Aiden. It's interesting. I feel like it's purely because of those bonus points. It's kind of what happened for Super Rugby Trans-Tasman a little bit. And it seems like every team is just chasing bonus point after bonus point kind of thing. Because we did see in Super Rugby Trans-Tasman, it was bonus points and points differential that was what got a team through to the final, or got all the teams through to the final, I guess you could say. That one has gone over from Svel. Another good kick, and now it's going to be 13 to the Western Province, 7 to the Sharks as well. There we go. We will update that one. But yeah, at this stage, the Bulls, they received 4 points because of the COVID case that was talked about in the Cheetahs camp. So they received the full 4. But then, of course, the points differential at this stage is relatively close between some of these sides as well. So they all want to make it through to that final and see what they can do from there. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this competition kind of is affected, I guess you could say, by cancelled games. But also, hopefully we do get to see the rest of them take place. And that one has gone into touch there. And it's going to be the Sharks 45 metres out from the Western Province line. Sorry, 35 out now. And it is going to be the line-out throw for them. We have Oscar in there as well, Province as well, says Leon. He is a happy man at the moment. They are leading this match. If you guys haven't already, be sure to vote in that poll, which I have got. And at this stage, 29 votes in the Sharks, 52% chance of them winning, according to you guys in the chat as well. So very close at the moment, almost 50-50. But at this stage now, it is going to be the line-out throw for Mbata once again. And the lad from Jesse was an outlaw. Welcome in, mate. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hendrickse are here. Going back into the hands now of Bosch. Goes to Bolly, who is going to power himself forward. That man is a very hard man to stop. That is for sure there, Bolly. Now, Hendrickse are going short side now. Mane Labok trying to break the tackle, and he has done so, but Ifan Ruas straight on the ball, and he is going to win the penalty for the Western Province, and that man is a danger and a breakdown. That is for sure. Straight on the ball, and he was well and truly secure in that one. Not releasing the ball is the call, and Mane Labok looking like he got a finger in the eye possibly at this stage. And yeah, Mane Labok, he has tackled Ifan Ruas. He did very well in the end not to slip over. Of course, it is wet there. It is windy. But somehow he was still able to get his hands on the ball there, Ifan Ruas. And Labok is just getting a little bit of attention for that eye poke that he did have in that breakdown. Not sure whose finger it was that went in there, but Tim Svel now for the Western Province is going to be kicking this one into touch. And at this stage, it still looks weird to me having that empty stadium, but hopefully over the next, over the next 6 months, I guess, maybe eventually we will be able to have crowds back for these games, because there are going to be some very exciting games coming up. I don't think at this stage the British and Irish Lions are allowed any crowds. You guys might be able to help me out for that one. But I know that a few games were talked about getting moved to Cape Town Stadium, this ground, because of a couple cases that were popping up, or more than a couple cases, I guess I should say, in one of the other regions. We also got Come On Sharks as well. And Ruas should have been chosen for the box, says Leon Adams as well. And that's the thing with Dwayne Vermeulen's injury. I guess there are a few number 8s who could have easily been able to make their way into that side. And yeah, Ifan Ruas, I have been thoroughly enjoying watching him play in the Rainbow Cup and also throughout this Currie Cup competition so far. That's a great counter ruck from the Sharks, but it is going to be the penalty to the Western Province, unfortunately for them, right I would think they will be taking on the 3 points once again here, and that will give them a 9-point lead, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 9 points. Even at 3:30 a.m., my maths can somehow still work a little bit. But Tim Swill here, he is going to be taking on the 3 points once again. And if he can get this one over, Western Province just going to keep on extending that lead as much as they can. Of course, with it being such a rainy day as well, I feel like there is plenty of opportunity to be able to find those tries later on in the match with your forwards. At this stage, Tim Swill once again is going to be lining up this kick for the Sharks. For the Western Province, and he will be hoping to make it 3 from 3. We've also got in there 11J said, hi, I hope you're well. Thank you very much for tuning in, mate. I have just gotten over a cold that I did get early on or late last week, which I think is why, for you guys who were watching the Premiership final game, I think that is why I got so tired in that second half. Like, one reason, Tim Swill slipping over there, and he has still got it over, though. So now the score is going to be extended once again, and it's 16 to the Western Province, 7 to the Sharks. So they have done a very decent job there, Western Province, getting a few penalties in a hurry. That has now ticked them into a 9-point lead. But yeah, I think that is why I ended up getting so tired, like not just because it was currently like 6 a.m. here in New Zealand, but I think it was something to do with that as well. But I think I'm going to be all good for this weekend, and we have got a lot of rugby on as well. Oh, that one's stolen in the breakdown. No, it's not. And it is going to now be a penalty once again to the Western Province. Yeah, we've got the Springboks taking on Georgia. Then also there is Manu Samoa taking on the Māori All Blacks. All Blacks facing Tonga. Who else have we got? We got the British and Irish Lions taking on the Emirates Lions. Ireland, Japan, Wales versus Canada, England versus USA. And I think there is a Currie Cup game scattered in there as well. So there is plenty of rugby on this weekend. And then you've also got midweek, the British and Irish Lions taking on the Sharks. And also then the Wallabies taking on the France. Or just France as well. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of rugby on, and hopefully we will be doing live streams for 90% of it. So, yeah, if you guys haven't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. But that one has gone to the back there. Very nicely done by the Western Province. No, it's not. And he hasn't gone back 10. I think it's the call there. So there was a penalty up against the Sharks, up against the Western Province. It was for a player not being 10 metres back from the line out. That is one that you don't really hear too often, Province as well, says Leon. He is happy at the moment for his side having a 9-point lead, but the Sharks here are going to be kicking for the corner once again. And that one is a good kick, and it's going to be about 15 metres out now, and the Sharks will be going for that rolling maul, and maybe Bully will be able to get over for a second. Well, it's got their powering through a cold. Your resilience is legendary, Hamish, as well. I feel like with the amount of rugby that was on, it was hard to be able to take a break as well. Like, I feel like it was the worst possible time to get a cold just before a British and Irish Lions tour. But yeah, hopefully that means now I'm not going to get one for the next year, and she'll be right. I don't think over the last 5 years, I think I've only had 2 or 3 colds. So I've been pretty lucky in that regard. So hopefully that will continue. But now it's going to be the rolling maul once again for the Sharks here. Hendricks fires it back. Kerwin Bosch with a little chip in behind. Jeremy Ward trying to line it up, but it is taken nicely, but it's been dropped there. But there is going to be another penalty now to the Sharks. And at this stage now, the Sharks have another opportunity to either kick it for the corner or go for the 3. Someone lost their boot there. I'm not too sure whose it was. No, it was a scrum cap. And side entry as the call. So that is what the penalty is for. And now it's going to be Kerwin Bosch once again kicking for the corner now. And yeah, it's going to be exciting to see whether or not the Sharks are going to be able to get a try back here. And then maybe there will be one more try either for the Sharks or the Western Province before the end of the first half. We're currently 26.5 minutes into this match. They are showing Efan Roas, a very dangerous man in that number 8 jersey. But now it is going to be Mbata who is going to be trying to get this one right. And now it's gone into the hands of the number 4. He was almost taken out before he hit the ground there. So maybe that will be an advantage to the Sharks once again. No, at this stage, hasn't been called. Now it's going to be a good step from Mbata there. And he is going to be driving ball. He wanted to steal it, but he wouldn't quite give it up there, Mbata. And it has popped out the back. Hendrickson now going to be lining up one of his forwards. It's the number 8 crawling forward, but he is tackled only a metre short. Round the side once again. It is going to be the tight end prop. He is on his back over the line, but he has managed to roll the ball back enough. Round the side once again now. And they are getting closer and closer here. The Sharks pouring on the pressure against the Western Province now. Phase after phase, only a metre short now. And that's only inches from the line. It's going to be once again Machunu now. Looks like he's going to get himself a carry, and it's going to be an advantage as well. Can't quite get the momentum going forward enough now. Hendrickson going short side, goes into the hands of Funyerden. Has he been able to score it? No, he is short as well. This is great defence from the Western Province, other than giving away the advantage. That's going to be a try now, though. And he has broken over the top there. Jaden Hendrickson dove over the top, and he was able to score the try. Right, we will put the Sharks right back up there now for the points. They are going to be sitting on 12 at the moment against the Western Province. Jaden Hendrickson scoring the try in 28 minutes into this one. And at this stage, also, we have got, I hope Sky Sports or Rugby Pass shows ABs versus Tonga. I'm not sure. They will, unfortunately, looking forward to the Springboks games, though. We'll definitely watch it, says 11J said. And that's one other thing. I've actually had to search very hard to be able to find the South Africa versus Georgia game. I don't think they're actually showing it here in New Zealand, which is a big shame. But I have been able to find a way of being able to watch it through a VPN, I believe. So that will mean that I will still be able to watch that one. But yeah, at this stage, it doesn't seem like New Zealand are going to actually be showing that game, which seems weird because of the fact that it is quite a big matchup, even though, yes, they are playing Georgia, but it should still be a very entertaining game. And at the end of the day, it's the first game we're going to get to see of the Springboks since the World Cup. So, I mean, it's one that you don't really want to miss, even if it is on at 5 a.m. here in New Zealand. I'm going to be up for it. And now Amani Kerwin Bosch is going to be lining that one up. He has got it as well. So now we will add that to the scoreboard, and now it's only a 2-point game between these two sides. The Sharks have got 2 tries to the 1 try of the Western Province. And, of course, talking about tries, it is 4 tries will get you the bonus point, and at this stage, every point counts in this Currie Cup competition. Of course, they did receive the points for the default, I guess you could say, up against the Cheetahs. They're the Bulls. They did push them into first place. That is because of COVID case in the Cheetahs camp. So because of it, they were rewarded 4 points here, the Bulls. So whoever wins this game has got a decent chance of maybe sitting into first place. The Sharks would have to win this game by quite a few points, though, and receive that bonus point. Or if the Western Province get the win, they will be moving straight up into first. Hendrickson there going high into the sky once again. Currently 30 minutes into this game, taken nicely by Sergio Peterson there, just inside of the half of the Sharks here. The Western Province in possession now. It's going to be for Sher now. Trying to drive forward a couple extra meters for a side. Ifan Ruas, that's a man who's always going to make you meters whenever he gets ball in hand. A vet now, short ball to the hands of the number 6, which in this one is Will Tennyson. That's a beautiful one on the inside. Oh, sorry, not Will Tennyson. That is Marcel Tennyson. Now it's going to be Foucher once again. Goes back now into the hands of Tim Swell, who well and truly set his player up there with not the best pass. But now it's going to be a penalty to the Western Province. And that is the player not rolling away as the call. So now, right, they're in this situation once again. Do they take on the 3 points or do they kick for the corner? And it's one of those ones that with that try of the Sharks, perhaps that would have changed the mindset because they are taking on the 3 once again, though. So they are just happy enough getting 3 after 3 at this stage of the Western Province. They're hoping that the discipline of the Sharks will allow them to keep on getting those points and then eventually lead to them possibly breaking through with a few more tries later on in the match. Sharks yet as well from scrumless. Bulls should not have got 4 points. I think they should have had 2 to the Cheetahs and Bulls instead, said 11J said. And yeah, I think the way they do it is whoever has the positive case just defaults all the points, which, I mean, it does seem rather harsh to that team, but then I think it's also one of those ones that it's going to be interesting to see how those points can influence the competition, because we did see in the Rainbow Cup Northern Hemisphere competition, Benetton made it through to the final. And that last game, they were going to be playing, I think it was the Ospreys, but because of a positive case for the Ospreys, it meant that it did give them the full 4 points, and that made them go through to the final. And they actually won the competition as well. Benetton, they won that final up against the Bulls. It was, but this one has gone over now. Western Province sitting on 19, and the Sharks sitting on 14 points here, so extending the lead back to the 5 points. We have got smash that like button, guys, and subscribe if you are new, says Bertie as well. Oh, that's a little knock on there. And now it's going to be an opportunity for the Sharks once again. And that is what the Western Province wouldn't have been wanting there. It's going to be now fired back there. Oh, that's a good hit there on the Sharks board. I believe it was Andrews, and that's going to be a penalty now. Hendrickson, he's thinking about taking the quick tap, decides against it in the end. And I think they will be kicking this one for the corner. There are definitely different mindsets between these two sides. The Western Province, they are going, we will take the 3. The Sharks are going, we want the 7 points. We are going for the corner. And that one has been kicked into touch there in the end. And it does now mean that it is going to be another opportunity for the Sharks off that rolling maul. But yeah, a little knock on there, unfortunately, for him. And the worst thing is he knocked it on, and then he tried to regather it and knocked it on again. So I feel like there was no question at all there. And then in the end, it was the player not rolling away, the Western Province player that then led to the opportunity for the penalty to be given. Sharks now once again Mbata 5 meters out from the line with this line out throw. And it has gone to the back, almost stolen there very nicely by the Western Province, but unfortunately not quite able to get the fingers on the ball there. And now it's going to be a rolling maul opportunity once again. Mbata's got it at the back, and this is looking dangerous. No one's going to stop the man. Or did they? No, he was short. He's fallen down just inches from the line there, Mbata. But the Sharks once again are in a very dangerous position. The last 2 times they've been down here, they've scored. And it is going to be Bully now. Oh, he's dropped the ball backwards. But it did just travel backwards, did it? No, they are saying that maybe it was a little knock on. Oh, but the Western Province side looking like they're going to get told off here. Okay, time is off at the moment. And what is this? I believe that was a knock on. And Tim Swell is just getting a little stern warning for his side, saying that maybe they are doing a little bit too much talking and not enough playing. The Rugby Network has the Murray ABs versus Manu Samoa game that was just played archived on the website. So I wonder if that means they are going to show the AB matches coming up. I feel teased as well, says Scrum Lass. I hope they do. I feel like that's one thing that, like, with the amount of rugby that's on this season, I guess you could call it the season, the next couple months, like, I feel like the more eyes they can get on the sport, the better. They've got to try and reach new markets. I mean, the US would be a great market to reach out to purely because of the fact that they've got the MLR at the moment. That's doing pretty well as well and will be a big competition in the coming years. So I feel like if you can get more eyes on the sport, it is just a benefit. And it's like the one of, they did the British and Irish Lions tour, the opening game up against Japan. They actually had that free to air in the UK and a lot of other places as well. And I feel like that's a good way of doing it. Kind of let people see what they would be possibly getting if they did decide to sign up for some sort of subscription like a Rugby Pass or something like that. You know, just let people see some of the action and get them hooked on the game like we are. But that one in the end was just a little knock on from Bully. And because of it now, it is going to be the scrum feed for the Western Province, only 5 meters out from their 5 meters out from their line, and currently 6.5 minutes left in this first half. Western Province sitting on 19, but that is only 1 try so far in this match. It was scored by Paul de Vet. It was the opening try of the match. 2 tries for the Sharks so far, 1 for Bully and the other for Jaden Hendrickson. So at this stage, chasing the bonus point of the Sharks and the Western Province, they have been taking on the 3 points. So it will be interesting to see what transpires later on in this match. The front row's going down there. But now it is going to be Paul de Vet goes back now into the hands of Pretorius once again, running it up. And at this stage, I think I can hear the wind at the moment at the ground. It's not a nice night there, or night afternoon, I believe it would be, over there in South Africa at the moment. That one has gone up there, and it's been kicked downfield by Paul de Vet. Nice kick down to the halfway line. Didn't find touch, though, and now it's going to be Marnie Lebock looking for the option, trying to break the gap, but he has been tackled by Detoy there. And Detoy was on the field because of an injury early on. Little kick in behind by Werner Koch, but now it's going to go into the hands of Sergio Peterson. And now Paul de Vet dragged down by Hendrickson. Kick in behind from Tim Swell, who was playing scrum half. Going to be bouncing awkwardly. Bit of pressure here on Kerwin Bosch. Fires it across. That's a terrible pass to Marnie Lebock, and now they've put them under pressure more. But Abrahams now, he's found a massive gap up the middle of the field, Abrahams, and he's got plenty of pace as well. Going back to his feet, that is agility and a half. Passes it on the inside. What a try for the Sharks there. Jaden Hendrickson has scored the try. Abrahams, how did that man do that? That was phenomenal skill by that man, Thakurt Abrahams. Are they going upstairs for something? They might be, but I feel like you got to award them the try just for that effort there. That was phenomenal from Abrahams. This was a full field try from a terrible pass from Kerwin Bosch across the field. Lebock wasn't able to grab it, but then from there went into the hands of Thakurt Abrahams, found the gap, just pierced it, ran to the halfway line, little step, ended up getting around the tackle with Swill, bounces back to his feet, agile as a cat, then goes on the inside to Jaden Hendrickson, who scores his second of the match as well. 19-all between the Western Province and the Sharks, with a kick to come for the Sharks as well. And they are only 1 try away now from being able to get that bonus point. Not to mention they are getting at least 2 new teams next season, which will bring total pro teams playing in the USA up to 14. Massive as well, says Scrum Lass. Yeah, I'm looking forward to following the MLR. You have made it sound like a very entertaining competition to watch. And I feel like it's one of those ones that, I need to probably start learning the sides now so that in that year or two's time, I can kind of well and truly know exactly like who all the players are. What are they checking here? They are maybe checking to see whether there was obstruction. Oh, little shove out of the way. Please tell me they're not going to disallow this try for that. Because if they did, he stood his ground as the call. Tell you what, I thought for a second they were going to be cancelling that one out, and I would have felt very bad for that man, Abrahams. Even though he wasn't even the one who scored the try, he just well and truly set it up there, and it was incredibly impressive. There are the rules, some official, some gentlemen's agreements as to if you're eligible to play for USA teams want to acquire good players from other countries, as well as their scrum left. But that one has gone over, so now the score is 21 to the Sharks, 19 to the Western Province. And this is going to be going into halftime. And they are maybe saying that Ethan Ruas was a little bit blocked. But tell you what, Tim Swill thought he made the tackle on Abrahams. He bounced straight back up to his feet and just kept going. And then from there, he was able to find the ball on the inside to Hendrickson. And he puts the ball down. They don't want USA teams to just be filled up with famous faces from AU and NZ or South Africa teams. Not a good way to showcase USA talent as well. That one's gone out on the full from kickoff as well, which is unfortunate there for Tim Swill, who doesn't look too happy at all. But yeah, that's one thing. Like USA, they're very good with their sevens rugby. And I think one big question for a lot of people is how they're going to be able to translate that from sevens to 15s. Because, I mean, some of the athletes they've got in sevens, like, they're insanely good. Like, and I feel like if you can translate that into the 15s game, like by the World Cup, or maybe if it's not this World Cup, maybe the next World Cup, they could actually be quite a threat. Like, depending on how their side goes with those, like, because some of them are just naturally gifted athletes as well. And we always got there. That's more like a Sharks. Thank you as well, says Gillian. And if you are watching the game, what did you think of that try? Because that was a very impressive one from Abrahams. He is replacing Mapimpi out on that left wing. He just bounced back up to his feet as well. And we have also got there. Love the commitment, mate. It's so late here in New Zealand. Says Neville, yeah, we are currently sitting at 3:43 a.m. here in New Zealand. But I thought I'd better do a Currie Cup game purely because of the fact that I hadn't done any for last weekend because of all the other rugby that was on. But I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything. And at the moment, this looks like it's going to be a very high-scoring game between these two sides and a pretty close one as well. At this stage now, Hendrickson has got the scrum feed for his side on the halfway line with only 3 minutes left in this first half. Is there going to be another try in this first half? That is the big question as well. That is a great push from the Western Province, though, but luckily for the Sharks, they have been able to get that ball out of the back. Marty Lebock lined up there in the tackle there by, I believe, it was the man in the number 13 jersey, and now they're trying to counter-ruck there, but the Sharks have just been able to hang on to it. Jaden Hendrickson now firing across. Looks like maybe they are just setting up for either the kick or possibly going for a bit of a backline movement. It's going back to Swill now. Now it's going to be in the hands of the number 12 in this one. He is going to be running for Marius Lowe, but he has been dragged down there. Hendrickson now going back on the inside to the man in the number 8 jersey. It is not Buthelezi for this match. It is Guamedi, I believe is the pronunciation, but Kuan Bosch there kicking this one downfield for the Sharks. Western Province player number 10, Tim Swill, taking it beautifully there, and he is going to be kicking it back downfield. It is still wet. It is still windy there. At the moment, Sergio Peterson decides against Jason, and now it's going to be Kerwin Bosch. Little offload to Marnie Lebock, who has pierced the gap beautifully there. Marnie Lebock, little offload on the inside now. Iron Andrews offloaded to the man in the number 6 jersey. And at this stage now, the Sharks going blindside once again. Oh, it's knocked on though. And it was Marius Lowe who wasn't quite able to hang on to that one. Oh, Jaden Hendrickson almost suplexed by Sinatla there. And unfortunately for Lowe, just not quite able to hang on to it. And he does look a little bit disappointed there. We have also got there, well, stepped away for a minute, and Sharks are leading as well, said, for a few minutes. And Sharks are now leading. Yeah, they have been playing some very good rugby in that back line. And I feel like it's one of those ones at this stage. The Sharks have been going for the corner, trying to take on the 7-pointers, whereas the Western Province have been going for those 3-pointers, trying to extend that lead. But at this stage now, they're in a tricky predicament because they aren't actually leading this match anymore. And at this stage, if they had another opportunity, do they take the 3 points to get back in the lead, or do they go for their corner and try and start extending towards that bonus point? Because at this stage, the Sharks only need one more try, and then they have got that bonus point. So we will have to wait and see what happens later on in the match as well. But we've still got 45 seconds of this first half before we end up going to halftime, and that's going to be a scrum reset there as well for both sides going just a little bit early. But yeah, I'm hyped up to see what happens in the second half. I thought that it may have been one of those high-scoring close matches. And at this stage, if it continues in the second half, that could be exactly what we get to see. I am quickly trying to get some stats up for you guys as well while we are waiting for the scrum reset to see exactly what has transpired in that first half. And hopefully will give us a bit of an idea of what's going to be happening in the second half as well. But I will mention, if you haven't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you haven't already, also in that live chat, there is the option of doing a poll, and you are able to choose who you think will be winning this match. And at this stage, Western Province have received 55% of the votes as well. So we will have to wait and see if that does change. That's going to be another scrum reset. So at this stage, this is going to be using up the last minute of this first half. And I would be thinking at this stage, possibly the Western Province, they will be concentrated on winning the scrum, and then from there putting the ball into touch and going into halftime. Only the 2 points down, but I feel like they will be maybe thinking about those opportunities of kicking for the corner that they instead decided to take on the 3-pointers. Could be costly later on in the match. But of course, we will have to wait and see. Rugby's a game of two halves. We've only had one half so far, and we have still got 40 minutes left of the action. That is if the Western Province decide to kick this ball out. They may try a counter-attack here, depending on how it goes. But I think from here, unless they win a penalty, the front rows have gone down. The ball's popped out the side, and both front rows have gone down. So it is going to be another scrum reset there. And I thought for a second someone was going to be getting a penalty for either side there, the Sharks or the Western Province. It's been a battle at scrum time, of course, with it being so slippery out there with the rain. It does make it very hard to get that footing. So you got to make sure that you can possibly, I think they've got to get the ball out early here. Reset scrums at the moment. There's been 3 so far in this match. And we have got Go Sharks from Scrumless as well. And at this stage, Sharks 2 points ahead early on in this match, 40 minutes in, still another 40 to go. But once again, it looks like it's pretty windy out there at the moment. You can see the flag in the background moving around all over the place. I think it was something like 43 kilometers of wind or something along those lines, with also it just pouring rain. Not a nice afternoon for rugby, but both of these sides have come to play. Now it's going to be put back into the scrum. That one's looking very solid for them as well. Western Province, the front row has gone down now, and they have been told to use it. And the feed has actually gone black at the moment. So I'm not sure what happens here, but I assume, sorry for the interruption, we're doing our best to get back on the air is the message I've got from Sky at the moment. But I would assume from where they were on the field, the Western Province would have been kicking that one into touch. And it is now going to be halftime. No, it's not. They kicked it downfield. And then from there, Abrahams ran it into touch. Right. It is halftime at the moment. That was a terrible time for Sky to decide that they wanted to stop showing the game. But we were right there, halftime. And at this stage, 21 points for the Sharks and 19 to the Western Province. Now, early on in this match, didn't think it was going to be going this way, just with the factor of there were a lot of penalties against the Sharks that were leading to 3-pointers after 3-pointers. So far, 3 converted tries for the Sharks compared to the 1 try of the Western Province alongside their 4 penalties that they have been able to get over. But we look at some possession stats. And first of all, a number that comes into the view is 62% possession for the Sharks. So it just shows that so far, the Western Province, they haven't really had too much ball at all. And from there, they have only been able to get just the 1 try. But quite a few penalties have been adding up as well for them. 66% territory for these Sharks as well. 3 tries for them, all converted. And 4 penalties to 0 for the Western Province. So they were taking on the 3-pointers rather than the 7s as often. Meters carried, they've had less than 100 meters carried in that first half there, the Western Province. 96 to the 237 of the Sharks. Yet they've almost defeated, or defenders beaten, is actually 7 to 8. So they've been doing decently when they have got the ball in hand as well. And also we have got their, what else have we got? Tackles made. So far, 68% for the Sharks. They've made 15 of 22. So I feel like that's one thing that maybe the Western Province in the second half might look to attack a little bit more. Try and create those opportunities with the broken tackles to then lead you some points, or lead to some points, I should say. They've got the likes of Pretorius, Vindermerva we've hardly seen so far in that number 11 jersey. Cornell Smith, Sinatla, Peterson, those guys are try-scoring machines. And if they can get that ball in hand just a little bit more, I think that they will be able to have a little bit more success in the second half. 87% tackling percentage for the Western Province there, 54 out of 62, but they have still been able to break through a total of 3 times for the 3 tries. And then also for their line-out success, it's interesting, the Western Province so far only winning 3 from 5. So that is a part of their game that they will want to improve in that second half as well. But yeah, it's going to be exciting to see what is going to be transpiring in the second half. Currently 21 points to the Sharks, 19 to the Western Province. And also, I will mention the try scorers in this match. First try of the match was scored by Paul DeVette for the Western Province. That was their only try in this first half. And then the Sharks were able to score 3. Jaden Hendrickson was able to get 2. I should mention, though, that Takir Abrahams had a very big part to play in one of those tries. Very impressive from him to set that one up. And then the other try was scored by Thembalani Borley as well. It was the other try scorer because he is a very talented prospect as well in that number 7 jersey. And also Ifan Ruas, decent game so far in the first 40 for the Western Province as well. But yeah, nonetheless, I will quickly check the poll once again and see what we are sitting on at this stage. 55% of you have said that the Western Province are going to be winning this match. So if you haven't already, be sure to vote in that poll. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are going to be back with a lot more rugby, including the Springboks facing Georgia, the All Blacks taking on Tonga, Manu Samoa versus the Māori All Blacks, also Wallabies versus France, the British and Irish Lions tour. It is all going to be happening on this channel. We are going to be providing live commentary for those matches, as well as possibly some gameplay on Rugby Challenge 4 with the games and the lineups the same. But yeah, I do thank you all very much for being here as well. It is hugely appreciated. Like I mentioned, 62% possession for the Sharks in this first half. It looked like early on when the Western Province were leading 10-0 that maybe would have been going their way. But then from there, unfortunately, for the Western Province, they didn't really have much possession in that last kind of 25 minutes of the half. And anytime they gave that ball away, the Sharks were dominant, getting the right penalties to be able to kick it for the corner, then go for that rolling maul. That's been working pretty well. And that's the thing, the Western Province, they actually had an opportunity early on in that first half to go for that rolling maul. Did get shut down in the end, but I feel like they need to go back to it again and see if they can get something going there. But of course, when you have only got 60% of your own lineouts won, does make it a little bit tougher. And we have also got the hit that like button. Y'all, you are the best as well, says Scrum Lass. But yeah, if you guys haven't already, be sure to hit that like button. It is hugely appreciated. And at this stage, they are showing the try of Paul DeVette. It just kind of came out of nowhere. Was an awkward bouncing ball for Sinatla. And then from there, it was just taken nicely in the end by the Sharks player, who then just threw it back to Paul DeVette, who ran all the way. And Hendrickson wasn't able to catch him. And that was the opening try of this match. And yeah, it just didn't quite work out. It was an awkward bouncing ball for the number 6, I believe it was, James Fenter, who offloaded it to Paul DeVette. And he has been in great form so far throughout this competition, and also the Rainbow Cup, Paul DeVette. Then it was the try of Bully in the 17th minute. The rolling maul was looking strong for the Sharks. They just wandered forward as they were trying to, and then from there, little offload to Bully, and you're not stopping him. They had 2 men trying to stop him, but he wasn't going anywhere other than over that line and scoring the try for the Sharks to get them their first try of the match, and now they only need 1 more to be able to get that bonus point. I will also show the table for you guys so you can see exactly where everyone is sitting. This is before this match took place as well. The Bulls moving into first place because of the default of the Cheetahs due to COVID cases in their camp. It does mean that now they are in that situation of giving up those points to the Bulls, the full 4 points. But of course, the Bulls in that situation don't get a bonus point, which could be interesting seeing later on in the competition. Then from there, they are showing the 3rd try of the match, the 2nd for the Sharks. Jaden Hendrickson just dove over the top of that scrum. Now, this try of Abrahams, it was a rough pass from Kerwin Bosch, but then from there, Abrahams picked it up, went straight through a gap, and then from there, ran to the side. Tim Swill tried to tackle him low, and he just bounces back up to his feet there. Like a cat, I called him. Cat-like reflexes. Jaden Hendrickson on the inside scores a 2nd of the match, but he has got 1 man to thank for that try, and that is Abrahams in the number 11 jersey. But yeah, at this stage, if the Western Province were to win this match, make a comeback in the second half of getting those extra 2 points, then you are sitting in the situation of them either getting up to 11 points taking the lead or maybe 12. If they get that bonus point for that to happen, they are going to need 3 more tries. So it's going to be tough for them to be able to do in this second half. And then for the Sharks, if they get a bonus point and win this match comfortably, which at this stage might be tough to do as well, then you are in that situation of maybe them being able to get to first place. I don't think they'll be quite first because points differential isn't quite on their side, unfortunately, there. But, they will try. They'll see what they can do. And, yeah, we will have to wait and see what is going to be happening. Be right back. Time for coffee as well, says Scrum Lads. No worries. We have still got a few more minutes before the second half gets underway. So there is no panic at all. But at this stage, they are showing that there's 3 tries for the Sharks to the 1 of the Western Province. Penalties conceded 7 against the Sharks to the 5 of the Western Province. So the Sharks, the discipline they will have to be a little bit careful with in this second half if they do want to make sure that they don't keep on giving away those 3-pointers, because at the end of the day, like 12 points from penalties, they can all add up at the end of a match. I've just realised Kieran spent this whole match not actually looking at the screen, or maybe he is. He looks like he's just staring straight into the light. That's pretty bright for you, mate. He needs more air in him at the moment. I always let him go down, unfortunately. I think he's got a hole from when maybe George punched him the other night. But hopefully he will be able to last for the live streams that are coming up, because we have got a lot of good ones. The likes of Tonga versus the All Blacks. That's going to be an interesting matchup, because I have seen that Tonga have gone with about 7 debutants in their squad for that one. So it will be interesting to see what the All Blacks do as well. And because of Tonga announcing it so early, perhaps the All Blacks might have a little change in what they were thinking of doing originally, perhaps. But in this one now, I have to say I have been loving watching the South African rugby. The Rainbow Cup South Africa, I absolutely loved all of those games. They were all very close matches between the sides. And I feel like that is what made it so great, is because of the fact you couldn't really pick who was going to be winning the matchups, because it just got that close. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what is going to be happening in the second half of this competition. I'm just looking at the starting lineup for South Africa as well. The Springboks taking on Georgia. That is only going to be in about 2 days' time as well. Looking through that, Nashat, Bonambi, Nakanye, Etzebeth, Mostert, Kolisi, Smith, Dutoy, Pollard, Stain, Creel, Apelele Fassi, the Sharks player. He is going to be in there as well. Roscoe Speckman and Willie LaRue. That's going to be their starting lineup. So I feel like that's going to be a hard day for Georgia. But then looking at the bench as well, while we are filling in time for this halftime situation we got ourselves into at the moment, looking through at the benches, Malcolm Marks, Kitsoff, Malharba, Ori, I can't remember how to say that number 20's name. No, I can't think of it off the top of my head. Was it Visa? And then we have got Herschel Yankees, Elton Yankees, and Damian Valimza as well. I was going to have them as pop-ups, but unfortunately, I ended up running low on time before this live stream. So I just read them out for you guys as well. But yeah, do let me know what you think the score is going to be in the match between Springboks and Georgia. I feel like that's going to be a hard one to predict. Of course, we haven't seen the Springboks play together since the World Cup, but Georgia, they are only playing the likes of the Netherlands at the moment. They won 48-15, I believe the score was in that game, though. So it's going to be an interesting one. I remember the match of the Autumn Nations Cup between, it was Fiji and Georgia, and that was a back-and-forth game between those two sides. And I'm wondering whether or not, though, this Georgian side will be able to break the defence even once, because the Springboks, I remember that defence in the World Cup. It was phenomenal at times. And I feel like if you can continue to do so in this match up against Georgia, or the 2 matches up against Georgia, I feel like that will give them a lot of confidence moving into the British and Irish Lions games that are going to be coming in only around a month's time. We've got plenty of rugby on. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because we are going to be covering it, or covering as much as we can as well. And at this stage, Western Province 52% have said that they will be able to win this match. So we will have to wait and see whether or not that is going to be the case in this one. Tackles missed at this stage, 11 missed tackles by the Western Province. So that is not ideal for them at all. And also my numbers that I had up on the screen earlier on, or that I was looking at, are completely different, because they say that only 2 tackles missed by the Sharks in this first half, which is rather surprising as well. My cat is currently making a bit of noise, but luckily we have still got about 30 seconds or so before the match gets back underway. So I will be back in just a very short moment. I am just going to let my cat out because he is making a lot of noise. Right, we are back and we are just in time as well. The game is only going to be about, I'd say, 10 seconds away from getting back underway, which is great timing indeed. They are showing Kerwin Bosch there. The big question is, are the Sharks going to be able to score an early try to then give them the bonus point? Of course, Western Province will still need 3 more tries in the second half to be able to secure themselves that bonus point as well. I'm excited, and my voice is trying to disappear as well, which isn't ideal, but this one's now going to be kicked off by Tim Swill. Has gone high to the side. It is still raining. It is still windy. Taken nicely there by Umbata there. Was an awkward bouncing one, or would have been an awkward bouncing one if he hadn't taken it, but he did very nicely. Hendrickson now going to the big forwards. All that's rolled forward, though, and it's in a little knock-on advantage. Western Province straight away getting this ball, and it is the Toy who has got it in hand. He is on the field for a very early injury as well, to mention, because he wasn't in the starting lineup. Little offload now, and it's going to be Efan Ruas, and he's man to stop, and Hendricks is on his back, but he's not going to be able to stop him there. Efan Ruas, what a try that is. How do you stop him? Whoever said in the chat earlier that he deserves to be a Springboks, you are 100% correct, because what a run that is. He just ran with Hendricks on his back. What a run. That is how you fire back when you are losing. After half-time, Efan Rice, he runs about 20 metres with Hendrickson on his back. He just gets the ball. Hendrickson trying to grab him. He grabs the shirt. He thinks that he's pulling him down. Little does he know that Efan Rice didn't think so. And Efan Rice just keeps on going. What a try. And the Western Province now have taken the lead back in this match. And this will be an easy kick as well. But it was a little bit of a loose ball and a breakdown that did lead to the try opportunity. And now, because of it, Western Province are leading this match 21 points to the 21 of the Sharks. Now they only need 2 more to be able to tell you what there. Hendricks, he doesn't know what just happened. I feel like you got to feel bad for the man. He thought that he was slowing him down. Little did he know that Efan Rice was just going to carry him like it was a piggyback ride for the whole length of the 22. But now it's going to be kicked off by the Sharks once again. Not the start to the second half that they would have been after. That one is taken nicely by Ernest van Renen, that was. And now Efan Rice is in that breakdown straight away, trying to protect the ball a little bit. Has gone high from Paul de Vet. Going for the long kick, going to Marnie Labok now, taking it nicely. Facing backwards, he has been told to charge now the number 8, and he's trying to break the gap, but he has been tackled in the end. Very nice slow tackle. Out the back line now, Bully is going to have the carry instead, though, on the halfway line at the moment. That was a good clear out by Andrews, but now it's going to be another turnover for the Western Province, and they have come out to play now. It's going to be kicked in behind by Tim Swill, finding a bit of space. Pretorius chasing it hard. Had a quick look there. Was the man in the number 12 jersey offload to Kerwin Bosch now. He has been dragged down just inside of his 22, and that one was almost stolen in the breakdown as well from the Western Province. And at this stage, they're going to have to be careful here. The Sharks, they need to slow this game down and really work out what they are trying to do, because at this stage, the Western Province are just on another level early on, but that one has been dropped. I did jinx that big time. Taken by Tim Swill in the end after cleaning it up off the drop ball. Going to be chased now by Peterson. He is lining it up nicely as well. Oh, Marnie Labok had a bit of pressure on him now. Sergio Peterson trying to kick it downfield, but it has hit the legs of Abrahams. And because of it now, it's going to be the Sharks throw. Sorry, the Western Province's throw. Only around 10 metres out from the line. What a start to the second half. Good job, mate. Says Clark as well. Thank you very much for tuning in, mate. I do appreciate you being here. We are currently sitting at 4 a.m. here in New Zealand, but I didn't want to miss this game between these two sides, and it seems like it is going to be going down to the wire. But do let me know who you think will be winning this match, Clark, and what you think the score will be. That one has gone to the front of the line out there, Western Province, with this ball in hand now. And it is going to be Fenton now, trying to go for that rolling ball, getting close to the touchline, though. Only about a metre between them and the sideline. But Bolly has got his hands on the ball, but it's going to be an advantage now for the Western Province once again. That ball almost going down, but it's been taken nicely by DeVet there. Little cross-kick opportunity. Tim Swill, that's almost going to hit the post. The wind is well and truly in full effect there. And now they are going back for the penalty to the Western Province right. Any other time they've had a penalty in this region of the field, they have gone for the 3 points. What are they deciding? Are they going to go for the 3 points once again, or do they kick for the corner? They are just asking the question at the moment. They are taking on the 3 points, right? Going for the 3 once again at this stage. They are confident in what they are doing here. They keep on back in the 3-pointers, so maybe it's one of those ones that, is it going to cost them? They are leading this match now. That was a great run by the man in the number 8 jersey, Irfan Ruiz. Good job, good try, mate. As well, says Jacobus. As well, I'll tell you what, that try from... I still can't believe how far he carried Jaden Hendrickse for that try. Like, Hendrickse, he thought he had him up until the point that he just kind of kept on getting driven forward and forward and forward. And then all of a sudden he's over the try line and the Western Province take the lead in this match again. And now they have got a chance at 3 points once again. If he can get this one, which he does, Tim Smith strikes it nicely straight out in front. And now the score is going to be 29 to the Western Province and 21 to the Sharks. We have got here in South Africa, we have the Sardine run. And this year, the Sardines are Hectic's best, or Hectic best in 3 years. As we speak, I am making a sardine curry, watching the game and the stream. Awesome stuff as well. Says Birdie, I haven't actually ever had a sardine, I don't think, let alone a sardine curry. So that would be definitely a new feature as well. So how long does it run for? The sardine, is it like a sardine season? Do they have over there? Like we kind of have salmon season over here in New Zealand, that normally you're allowed to fish for salmon in the rivers, but that's only for a certain time of the year. That's taken beautifully on the halfway line there from Sinatla. And the Western Province in the second half are starting like they did in that first half with a lot of early pressure on the Sharks. That one's been kicked in behind there. Going to be setting up for Currie Bosch there inside of the 22, so he is allowed to kick this one out. And he does so there. Getting them back down towards the halfway line, sorry. That is a good kick, though, from Currie Bosch with the early pressure on him as well. Whoever's got, wouldn't have ever imagined Conor Murray would be the new Lions captain, joins Paul O'Connell, as Limerick's finest to achieve it. So happy for him. Yeah, that's the thing. That's something that I don't think anyone saw coming, was the fact that Alan Wynne-Jones was going to get injured in the first moments of that game up against Japan. They also lost someone else as well, didn't they? In that match, was it one of the loose forwards? I think it may have been Tipperick, was it? But yeah, it was awesome for Conor Murray as well, the fact that he is going to be the captain now. That one was not straight from the Western Province, so now it's going to be the scrum beat for the Sharks. But yeah, hopefully he will be able to lead from the front in that game. I feel like he is going to be playing up against the Lions, and I feel like that's going to be a very exciting game to watch. And that is only going to be about 2 or 3 days away as well, which is going to be great news for us as well with the amount of rugby that's going to be on this weekend. Sardine curry sounds delicious as well, says Scrum Lass. I think the only curry I have actually eaten is a butter chicken, which I feel like is a little bit basic in a way. I feel like I need to try some different ones as well. So sardine curry could be maybe the way to go. But currently 47 minutes into this match, 29 to the Western Province, 21 to the Sharks. 3 tries for the Sharks, 2 for the Western Province. So at this stage, either side, if they are chasing the bonus point, they will need 1 or 2 more tries. I will show the table as well as it sits. That is going to be the penalty to the Sharks, or the free kick, sorry. Now it's going to be Hendrickse firing it out the back line. Oh, almost on the splits there was one of the players, but it's in the hands of Abrahams, who seems pretty calm under pressure when he gets the ball in hand as well. And now he's stepping his way through a gap, but he is dragged down by Detoy with a very good tackle there. Hendrickse now going away to the right. Big sell of the dummy there from Mona. He has been dragged down now, but the Bulls, they received 4 points because of the COVID case that was in the Cheetahs camp, which gave them the forfeit win. So this is actually the first round, or first game of round 3 that has been played. All getting forced towards the touchline there was Jeremy Ward, but he has been able to stay in the field of play now. Going to be once again Mona trying to drive for the Western Province, trying to get straight in there, trying to steal the ball. But at this stage, it's being protected, and now it's going to be Currie Bosch offloads the bully now. He's got option, he runs straight through, and now it's a little offload, but Jaden Hendrickse are knocking the ball on, and it is going to be the scrum feed now for the Western Province. And at this stage, we have got a year between June and July, and it's so yummy as well, says Birdie. What else do you put in it, Birdie, other than the sardines, of course? Do let me know. But that was a great run. Once again, Currie Bosch linking up with Bolly, but then he was dragged down just inside of the 22. Tries to find the offload to Hendrickse, who could have been on for a hat-trick if he had been able to find that gap, but it is going to be instead the scrum feed. And at this stage, I see in the poll, 54% have said that the Western Province are going to be winning this game. And it's going to be a close one by the looks of it between these two sides. Currently, 8 points is the difference. Sardines is one of the healthiest fish around, as well, says Bertie. And I didn't actually know that. So that is a very fun fact indeed. 61 tackles made by the Western Province, 27 by the Sharks. And now it's going to be a free kick to the Sharks. Something was going on at scrum time there. Hendrickson just threw the ball and it hit Mono in the back of the head. Now it's going to be the number 8 trying to drive forward for the Sharks here. Only 10 metres out now. It's going to be one of the first carries for James Fenter in this match. Been relatively quiet with ball in hand. And now it's going to be a little offload. Van Heerden now. Driving forward. Bolly looking like he is going to be going around the side. Now it's going to be an answer. Mona driving forward only a couple metres out. This could be try time here for the Sharks if they can find the right pass from Hendrickson. Going back into the answer. Fenter once again. And at this stage, only sitting around 3 metres out. Hendrickson going short side now into the hands of the big forwards. He's getting close to the line. He said just no, he has made it over. And it is going to be the try for Mbata. And now they are getting straight back into this match here, the Sharks. He will be kicking this 3-pointers as well, I believe, if I'm not wrong, the 2-pointer conversion. So we'll add that to the board as well. But the Sharks right back in this match. And it was the man, Fez Mbata, who was able to get over the line. Only inches from the line there. And then they decided to drive with the big forwards once again. Gets the ball down. Very nicely done by the Sharks. My voice is trying to disappear. But yeah, we will to wait and see it. I haven't had a proper real curry since I lived in the UK. I miss being able to get it in a restaurant wherever you want as well, says Scrumless. And we have also got in there, I think Western Province might take this one as well, says Vut. I'm wondering whether or not that was before or after that try, but I feel like it's one of those ones, those 3-pointers, at the end of the day, they've got 15 points from 3-pointers. And I feel like those points, they can really add up going through a match. And without those 15 points, they would be sitting quite a few points down. So I feel like it's one of those ones that those extra points could actually take them over the line, depending on how it goes in the later stages. But that is Kerwin Bosch kicking that one over there for the Sharks. And now the score is going to be 29 to Western Province, 28 to the Sharks. And that is with 53 minutes gone, I believe it was. As well, we have what's got in there. Well, you have to make a plan. The UK has some nice curries as well, says Birdie. And also, I can confirm it is Justin Tipperick, who is also out of the tour. See, that's a shame for 2 players to already be out of the whole tour due to injury in that game. The Toy almost able to take that one nicely, but a little knock on from him, unfortunately, off kickoff. So now it is going to be the Sharks, so we've got the scrum feed once again. But yeah, to have 2 players injured already, seems like a big shame for them. So hopefully that is going to be the only injuries we see in the British and Irish Lions tour. Although playing South African opposition, there's going to be some big hits as well. And Kanakawainen also said they should add Josh van der Fleer in his place. He is an excellent 7 as well. Because who do they go with? Instead, they went with, was it 2 or 3 Welsh players, if I'm not wrong. And people were saying maybe a little bit of bias from, of course, a Welsh head coach, Warren Gatlin, to decide to go with it. I think that was the case, that it was 2 or 3 players from Wales. And we have also got in there, I'm a Sharks fan though, as well, says Vut. He is not back in his own team at this stage, but maybe they will be able to hold on and be able to get themselves a win here. See, that's the thing. I can't pick a winner at this stage. It's going to back and forth. And at this stage, it's a very high-scoring game. After 53 minutes, 29 points to one side, 28 to the other. Sinatla not quite able to get that one, and I believe it was off him. No, it was off a Sharks player. So because of it now, it is going to be the Western Province who have got this line-out throw. And they are currently going to be 40 metres out from the Sharks line, wanting to strike back in this match very soon. We have also got there, I've got a few cans of sardines in the pantry right now, so I'm thinking maybe I'll try and make some. Never tried making it from scratch. Would be interesting to try, says Scrumless. Hopefully it would go smoothly. That one wasn't very straight. And because of it now, unfortunately, the Western Province line-out has been letting them down a bit. Renak Fenter just hasn't been able to hear the calls, unfortunately. There isn't a crowd, but there is a very strong wind currently going across, and it just went through the hands of the number 4 there. And because of it now, it means that the Sharks have once again survived at scrum time, or at line-out time, sorry. And we have got try it. It's really yummy, and it is peas, potatoes, and some hot curry powder or paste, and served with some basmati rice. That sounds all right. I feel like if it wasn't 4:15 a.m., I would probably end up getting hungry at this stage. But I think because it is the middle of the night, I feel like I probably won't end up being as hungry as I could be at this stage. But 54 minutes into this game, I feel like it's flown by for this live stream. So I do appreciate you all being here, talking away in the chat as well. It makes these so much more fun, definitely when they are in the middle of the night here in New Zealand. But I wanted to do a Currie Cup game before the weekend because I did miss all of round 2, unfortunately. I did a couple games in round 1, if I'm not wrong, but yeah, ended up missing most of the games of round 2. So I wanted to make sure I did one for you guys as well. And I was just checking to see whether or not my voice would be able to last for a live stream, and it's getting there. Slowly working, but at this stage, another scrum reset. Quite a few in this match so far, but it is slippery up there. Not a nice day at the moment at Cape Town Stadium. There is wind, there is rain, and there are a lot of tries as well. And we have got biryani rice with curry chicken as well, says Clark. That sounds all right as well. I feel like at this stage, you guys are just trying to make me hungry. But then we have got pictures of food as well in the chat. And we have got the okay sign from Bertie as well. At this stage now, Hendrickse going to have the scrum feed 40 metres out from his own line. Has already scored 2 tries. That's going to be a penalty to them for the front rows collapsing. And at this stage, Morna is fired up for this one. I still remember, I think it was him in one of the other games who gave just the most, angriest death stare to the guy who was looking across from him. And I was thinking, I would not want to be that guy on the other side. And at this stage, that guy looked like he had well and truly eaten the dirt at Cape Town Stadium because he had a lot on his forehead. Kerwin Bosch there kicking this one for touch. Has been able to find it as well. That's a very good kick from Kerwin Bosch. What a kick that is. And now the Sharks are going to be right in the attacking zone once again. Are there any pubs or sports bars in your area that stay open late for rugby matches? I feel like maybe that's an American thing as well, says Scrum Lass. I think we've got one that's it was going to be a sports bar, but I don't think they've actually got the sports stuff set up yet. So I feel like it's one of those ones that I don't think it stays up too late, though. I feel like it's probably maybe 1 a.m., 2 a.m. might be when they shut, unfortunately. But other than that, I think, other than that one, I think everywhere else kind of closes relatively early in the small town that I live in. Or Bolly with another great carry there for the Sharks. And they are trying to drive forward once again. Going to be the man in the number 3 jersey. Little offload there. Or almost did it go backwards? Yes, it did. And now it has been kicked forward, though. And now Money Labok has been able to claim that one. Almost falling over there, but firing across now into the hands of Abrahams. He is just making players get turned inside out today. And it has been a very good performance from that young man. He was in the under-20s not too long ago. And I feel like he could be possibly a future prospect. But now it's going to be Kerwin Bosch now trying to find a bit of a gap. Has been able to make a couple extra metres for his side, but straight on the ball was the number 6 for the Western Province. He wasn't quite able to claim it on the halfway line at the moment of the Sharks. And they are going to be driving forward once again. Hendrickse goes back now to Mani Labok into the hands of Van Reenen, who was trying to make a couple extra metres at the moment. The Western Province, they have been defending not too bad in the second half. Oh, a little knock on there from Kerwin Bosch. There is an advantage here for the Western Province, and it's been kicked in behind. The ball is going to be going into touch, and because of it, it is advantage over. And it is now going to be taken quickly by the Sharks. This game is going to be played at a fast pace in the second half. And it is the big question of who is going to go to that subs bench first. At this stage, the Sharks have got this ball 35 out from their own line. And it is going to be in the hands of Mono, who is just going to be driving forward, trying to get a couple extra metres to set up the kick opportunity for Hendrickse here. I will read the chat in a very short moment as well, but I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is hugely appreciated. And that one, it is going to go out on the full there, unfortunately, for Hendrickse. We have also got in there as well. My sister used to work at a sports pub, and we used to just hang out there and eat hot wings and just get completely blitzed on beer and watch baseball, and it was the best as well. So Scrum Lass. So would that be, is that during the day or at night? All after hours as well. Okay, that answers that one. So the big question I have as well, was it like replays of baseball, or was it actually like games that are live? Because how many time zones are there in the US? There's quite a few, isn't there? So I guess some places when the game is live, I guess it is nighttime. In other areas, a little bit like we've got here, but the subs bench is going to be almost emptied by the Western Province by the looks of it. The front row anyway, looks like they are going to be making a few changes. Now, someone who wouldn't have been too happy with his performance in that first half and early second would be probably Renak Fenter. Unfortunately for him, he has had about 4 lineouts that haven't quite gone straight, and that might be an understatement. I think it might even be upwards of, it could be closer to 5, which is unfortunate for him, but they are showing the British and Irish Lions taking on the Emirates Lions. That game is going to be happening in only a couple days' time. It's going to be the Emirates Lions hosting, I believe it is going to be at Cape Town Stadium as well. Tell you what, the grass at Cape Town Stadium, it's going to get a hammering over the next few weeks because there are going to be a lot of games played here. And I believe maybe couple of those games have been rescheduled to be here as well for the British and Irish Lions tour. But it is now going to be the line-out throw once again. Taken nicely there. Goes to Paul de Vet. And tell you what, is the number 2 still on the field? I think Fenta might actually still be out there for the Western Province at this stage, but that's going to be a great run from Detoy. Little offload out the back, another offload, and it's going to be the man in the number 13 jersey. Tell you what, Werner Cocky tried to stop him, but I think he has got it down. Or has he? I think he has, maybe, and if it is the case, it will be the try for Cornell Smith that may have gotten the lead. We have got Sebastian in the chat as well. Has said hello, hope you're doing well. I am indeed, mate. Thank you very much for tuning in. It is usually appreciated. Do let me know who you think is going to be winning this match, because at the moment it is going backwards and forwards between these two sides. Was this a try for the Western Province? If it was, I'm going to leave it off the board just for now. Werner Cock here. I think he might have been able to stop him initially from getting over the line, but then he rolls round. Oh, okay. So he falls round, hits himself on the bicep kind of thing. And then from there, the ball kind of bobbles a little bit, and it completely left his hand. I think Werner Cock might have just saved a try there. And that is huge at this stage of the game. I think it's left the hand. I think it's going to be called a no try here. We'll update that one. They're going to have another look. I think at this stage I am saying no try, but there is a chance that it could still be given. I think when he rolls round here, that there was complete space between his hand and the ball, so I think that will be counted as a knock-on, if I'm not wrong. So that could be a no try for the Western Province. They're very unfortunate at that stage, because that try would have given them that little bit more of a lead, but at this stage, it is only going to be a 1-point contest. Knock on from blue. Unfortunately, Cornell Smith wasn't quite able to score that one, and it was great defense from Werner Cock. At the end of the day, he was the only man who was going to be able to stop him, and he did. So it was a very nicely done as well. So tight, hard to say, but I'll go with the Sharks as well. Go Sharks from Scrumless as well. She is going for them in this match as well. But yeah, that man in the number 2 jersey, Fenta, is actually still out there. So that last line out did go a lot better for them. And also we have got, it would be nighttime as the pub was closing. Sometimes the games would be live. Sometimes they're pre-recorded. Depends on the game. Plus, this was like in 2006 as well, says Scrumless. And I guess maybe 2006, is that before the likes of Twitter and whatnot? So maybe it was less easy to be able to find a game like kind of result, if that makes sense. Like you probably spend less time. 2006. I feel like people had phones in 2006. I'm trying to work out whether or not, like, because you know how nowadays, like, you can't really go on social media at all if you are watching a game of rugby, like, later on in the day, because you well and truly find out exactly, like, who won that one. But I feel like in, like, 2006, it was probably a lot easier to be able to avoid finding out the results so you could still watch it as if it was live. Does that make sense? I think it might have almost. Maybe it is currently 4:24 a.m. there in New Zealand. That's going to be a free kick there for the Sharks, only 5 metres out from their line, and they will be very happy with that result. Second one, and it has been given now as the penalty rather than the free kick as well. So that is not ideal at all for the Western Province, and now it's going to be kick for touch by the Sharks once again. We are currently 60 minutes into this match as well. My cat is currently confused at what I am doing before social media. YouTube only came out in 2005 as well, says Scrum. That's crazy. That's the thing. Like, Rugby 06, I remember as if it only came out like 10 years ago, but it actually came out, Rugby 06, it's been around for like 15 at least, or around that kind of time frame, which is crazy, like, with the fact that it is still considered the best rugby game to play. Like, I feel like we are waiting to see who is going to be able to make the next best rugby game. That looks like a pretty serious injury at the moment. You know, it's not good when a player is smacking the ground as well. He is not looking happy at all. I'm trying to work out what number that was on his back, but I'm not too sure. But there are a few more subs being made now for both the Sharks and the Western Province. At this stage, I have realised I didn't actually put the Sharks bench on my team lineups. But luckily, now that I think about it, I have got the lineups here that I will show you guys as well for the Sharks. They have got the likes of Machunu, also Van der Mesh, also Richardson, Grant Williams, and Chamberlain as well, just to name a few. Now my cat is coming to see me as well by the looks of it. for the end of this match. Hello, mate. How's it going? Yes, it is currently 4:25 and we are still up, aren't we? Yeah, good. Right, it is in the hands of the Sharks now. And it was a little knock on, so now it's going to be the scrum feed of the Sharks as well. And yeah, at this stage, my cat is very confused. What is going on? And no Wi-Fi as well, says Vut. And also usually you need to be home to have access to the internet. We have mobile phones, but no apps and no mobile internet really. And I remember when it cost money to open a text message on my Motorola Razr flip phone. RIP my flip phone. I feel like, yeah, I remember my dad's phone had a bowling game. And I used to love that game. Even though, like, now it would be considered, like, a very simple one, I feel like now, like, I still think back about it and think of how much fun it was at the time as well, right? My cat is sat down. This one is going to be the scrum feed now, and it's going to be a good push there from the Western Province, and it's going to be the penalty on the halfway line. And now they will be wanting to make sure that they can score the next try of this match. Because if they can, could almost be enough for them to be able to hang on to the win. At this stage, 18 minutes left in this matchup. They have got 2 tries so far in this one. It's that big thing of risk and reward. Do they risk going for the bonus point for the sake of trying to get the win? Or do you tap over the 3-pointers from 50 meters out? They are kicking for the touchline here, Tim Swill. And it is going into touch. And tell you what, it is kind of swirling around all over the place at the moment at the ground with that win, but that is the live table, or the table before this match, I should mention. So the Western Province, if they can get this win even without a bonus point, they will move into first place, sitting on 11. With the bonus point, though, gives them the extra point, because the Bulls, they won their match by default up against the Cheetahs, but they didn't have the opportunity of cashing in on a bonus point opportunity. Taken nicely there in the line out once again for the Western Province, and they are going to be trying to drive forward just a little bit more here for the rolling maul. Hasn't been working too great for them, but at times has been looking not too bad at the same time. And this is one of those times. Marching forward now are the big forwards of the Stormers, or sorry, of the Western Province. My cat is confused and my headphones are tickling his nose. Paul de Vet here calling a shot, trying to decide who to go to. Seeing Edwin van der Merwe, he hasn't really had too much of a busy game so far in this matchup. Paul de Vet now, once again going across field to the Toy, who is driving forward. Little offload now to Van Yerden. Or Van Rijn, sorry. My cat as well, it's really putting me off at this stage. Oh, little salad dummy for Paul de Vet, trying to pick up his second of the match. De Toy now fires it back, goes to Swill, goes to Edwin van der Merwe, loses his footing. And because of it, the Sharks straight on it, and they have won the penalty. My cat's looking at me like, what are you doing up? Whoever's got, and the Nokia mobiles that can survive at 40 feet full. Tell you what, there are probably still quite a few Nokias that still work to this day. And I feel like if Apple had that same kind of durability, maybe they wouldn't be making any money, because of the fact that maybe it's strategy. You know, if phones are easy to break, people have to buy a new one. So then you make more money. But Nokia, they were just like, right, let's make a brick that works for these people. And that's exactly what they did. And yeah, I would buy a new Nokia if they did bring one out. Whoever's got in there, I know, right? Those things could withstand a nuclear blast as well, says Scrum Lads. And also, go Western Province. I love you lots as well, says Stephanie. Thank you very much. And at this stage, I think you said I love you lots as into Western Province. I may have taken that the wrong way. But yeah, at this stage, 1 point ahead are the Western Province. It's going to be a close finish in this one. Going down to the wire. Who is going to be coming on the field? That is going to be for Andrews. And on the halfway line at the moment, the scrum feed, or sorry, the line out furry, or line out throw for the Sharks. Yeah, that's not straight though. But I think now it is, yes, it is going to be the Western Force now who are going to have the scrum feed. And we have got there. Would you look forward to Munster versus Stormers? That's a match I can't wait to see as well, says Kanakoinen. And tell you what, all of those matches in the Rainbow Cup, or no, it's not called the Rainbow Cup, is it? It's going to be called the I've forgotten the name already. That's not good. I can't even think of it now. The United Rugby Championship, I believe it is called, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, those guys, like, they're going to have some good games in the Northern Hemisphere, that is for sure. The likes of Leinster taking on, I guess we could have the example with the Sharks. Leinster versus the Sharks, Munster versus the Bulls. Like, you've got all of those matchups that we might get to see as well. And we have got their Nokia phones, Pokemon, and Digimon cards. Slap bracelets, I miss the 90s as well. So Scrum Lads, that's going to be a penalty, though. Going the way of the Sharks now. on the halfway line. That is not what the Western Force would have been. That's not the name Western Province would have been after in that one. And also, the United Rugby Championship. I feel like it's one of those ones. Hopefully it starts rolling off the tongue a little bit easier, or the URC, basically rugby answer to the UFC as well, says Kinakoin. And I feel like I'll probably remember that version of it, just saying UFC minus the F in the middle and an R. Might be the easier way of doing it. Never mind the impact resistance with Apple. Some battery life wouldn't kill them as well, says Sebastian. Yeah, that's a good point. My phone pretty much has to be plugged in all the time now. And I've only got an iPhone 6. Or iPhone 6S. So the fact that the battery is just completely dying already, it's not ideal. Pretty much, my phone, although the weird thing is, it's actually going to be the Sharks taking on this three-pointer here to get them back in the lead. It is going to be Currie Bosch from the halfway line. Is he going to be able to get it? He's been striking them well. And that one's struck decently. No, it's not. Unfortunately for him, not getting a hold of it enough. And it is going to be now kicked downfield by Tim Swill. But yeah, my phone, 1% on my phone can actually last longer than 90% to about 20. It's weird. My 1% actually lasts for half an hour, and I don't know why. But I mean, I take it, of course, because I sit on 1% quite a lot. But now it's going to be Hendrickse firing it back to Currie Bosch. And he has kicked this one high once again at Cape Town Stadium. Taken nicely, is it? Yes, taken nicely by Swill. And he is going to be kicking this one, returning fire. Becoming a bit of a territory game between these two sides. Taken beautifully there by Currie Bosch, but now he has slipped and that ball's come free. Oh, it's gone into touch though. Lucky for the Sharks there. The Western Province were trying to jump all over that one. And Currie Bosch is actually down at the moment with some sort of injury. And we have got Go Leinster from Gary Miller as well. And I will ask you, Gary, who are you looking forward to seeing Leinster play the most out of these South African sides? Do let me know. And we have also got there in the chat as well. Agreed, Mr. Mann as well, says Grumlace. And I feel like the name, honestly, the Pro 14 was getting old. It feels more formal, like the Premiership or the Rugby Championship as well, says Kanakoin. And yeah, it's going to be one of those ones that hopefully, I feel like it's one of those ones because of the name now being changed, it's going to feel new for a little bit. But then as soon as you kind of get used to saying it, I feel like it's going to become quite a catchy name that is hard to forget. And yeah, hopefully rugby is going to be very hard to forget as well. I saw your message. I know nothing about either one of these teams as well, says Gary Miller. Yeah. Fortunately, I would have been the same at the start of the Rainbow Cup South Africa, but somehow now I've been able to work out some names of these fellas. Currie Bosch, I think, is hit hard there by Fundermurtha in the tackle there and did go down. And we have got in there, you look tired, mate, says Jake. I think it is because of the fact I've just come off, I got a cold late last week, but luckily I think I have got the better of it at this stage before the weekend. So I decided I would do a Currie Cup live stream just to kind of test the water, and also because of the fact that I haven't done a Currie Cup one in a little while. But now it's going to be the vet. Goes back now into the hands. Oh, that was big contact for that man in the number 2 jersey, Fenta. Someone's lost a boot. Now it's fired out the back line, gone through everyone's hands, and it has gone into touch. But yeah, I decided that I would go for a live stream midweek as well and see if you guys we're going to be looking forward to this game. But yeah, we've got plenty of rugby. We've got the All Blacks, the Wallabies playing midweek next week. Also, the Springboks playing Georgia. First Springbok game for the couple years since the World Cup. France versus the Wallabies. Also, Manu Samoa, Māori All Blacks. Wales versus Canada should be an interesting one. USA versus England. Ireland versus Japan. They are all happening this weekend. And the British and Irish Lions taking on the Emirates Lions is another one to look at as well. But now they've got the advantage here for the Sharks once again. Going to be in the hands of Marius Lowe. But he has been tackled hard by Tim Swill. The ball has come free. Mani Laboka's got it now. Trying to find a bit of a gap. He has it hard, but it's going to be bouncing not quite. And it is going to be the penalty now for the Sharks. We always got there. You can turn Nokia 3310 into a hammer. Very useful as well. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know what they used to make those out of, but they just didn't break. No matter what you did, you can just throw it at a wall if you wanted to. I feel like with my phone, it's very unfortunate. Some people back at school used to throw their phones at the wall and all sorts, or drop them all the time, slam them on the desk. My phone, I dropped, I think, once. Nothing happened to it, which was good, but it was only dropped onto carpet from about kind of waist height. And then the second time I dropped it, caught it with my foot and kind of gracefully like brought it down to the ground, and it's got now a big glitch in the screen. So I feel like I was very unlucky in that regard. That one has been gone down. That one has been gone down. That's not a sentence, but now it's going to be the replacement, number 21 for the Sharks. 40 metres out from the line here. And the Sharks are trying to find that 1 point that they are behind in this one. It's going to be a good tackle, or it's an advantage, though. That's not what they wanted to give away. 40 metres out as well. Now it's going to be a great run from Bully. Little offload now. And now it's going to be Richardson fires it back. That was very nicely done by the man in the number, I think it was number 19. If I'm not wrong, he was able to claim it. Hendrickson now goes back to Bosch. Money Labok on the outside. Quick hands from low. Going to be an awkward one for Abrahams, but he has been able to take it well. And he is trying to charge straight at the biggest man he could see, which was an interesting choice. But they have still got the advantage here, the Sharks. So if they can't score now, they will have the 3 points on offer. But Money Labok driving up to the 22, tackle by Detoy and Ifan Ruas. Now they're going on the right-hand side. Going to be in the hands of Jeremy Ward looking for the offload. That was forward. That was forward. They're not calling it forward, but it was forward. So we will have to wait and see what happens out of that. But they have not got the advantage anymore as well. So that's a big moment. Western Province could have had the scrum feed there. And I think that is what Werner Cock and also the other fella for the Western Province we're talking about. But now it's going to be in the hands of Sergio Peterson back with the Western Province now. And Ifan Ruas trying to drive forward for his side. So they have got this ball in the end now, Western Province. I will read the chat in a very short moment as well. And I do appreciate you all being here. If you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. We are going to be covering plenty more rugby over the coming weeks. And definitely this weekend as well. Now it's going to be Werner Cock with a little chip in behind. Chasing it hard as well, but it is taken nicely by DeVette. Now it's going to be Tim Swill with a counter attack, but he is tackled low by the man in the number 12 jersey, low there. And that is a pun, I guess you could say, as well, with the fact that... yeah, never mind. I won't go into it, but this one now. Western Province have got this ball 45 metres out from the Sharks line. Only 8.5 minutes left in this match. Very close between these two sides. The bonus point at the moment is going the way of the Sharks. They have got that extra point at this stage. The Western Province, they would need 2 more tries if they do want to do so. And it's going to be Edwell van der Merwe. And he's going to back his pace, trying to run over the top. Oh, he's dropped the ball. And that could have been a 3rd try for the Western Province there. But Edwell van der Merwe just wasn't quite able to find that ball into someone's hands like he needed. And we have also got there the big weekend for rugby right across the world. Yeah, huge amount of games on. Like, I feel like we're probably going to be doing, I think it's at least 6 live streams over 3 days. And I think it's even more than that. It might even be closer to 10, depending on how the time frame and the sleep schedule goes as well. See, that plays out like a joke, but it's actually true as well, says Scrum Lass. And Success Ben brings hatred, I don't mind as well, besides the Crusaders and the All Blacks. My teams as well, says Gary Miller. And all good teams are not a little arrogant. I feel like a lot of them can be, because of the fact that I guess when you get used to winning, you kind of like your fans and also your side kind of expect it every time kind of thing. I guess you could say, and we also got in there, it also brings arrogance myths that wear the Blues jersey, but as well as this kind of going in. And also let's not forget that you can buy sweet plastic face plates for those Nokia phones, and you trade them with your friends as well. Yeah, that is another thing. I feel like phone cases, because of how many phones there are now, you can never find one that's the same as like other people. Like, it's like when they have the new phones come out and then the like 2 phones before lose their like cases in the shops. So you have to go like and find secondhand ones. That one is going to be the scrum win, for the Sharks. And it means that they have now got this penalty. Only 7.5 minutes left. Are the Sharks going to be able to sneak this win at the end, or can the Western Province hang on? It's going to be a very close finish as well. And we have also got when did they rename it to the United Rugby Championship? Though I agree, Pro 14 was getting a bit old. Says Sebastian, I think it was only this last month, I think, if I'm not wrong. But they were going to have it originally, I think it was going to be the Pro 16. But instead they decided to go for the United Rugby Championship as something fresh. And yeah, it should be a very awesome competition to watch as well, other than, of course, because of the fact that the games are going to be in the middle of the night. But at this stage, the sleep schedule is pretty much adapt to that. Like, I don't end up going to bed until probably like now and then waking up in the afternoon. That is the rugby schedule that I've got my body clock on at the moment as well. And now it is going to be the scrum feed, the line-out throw for the Sharks. I've done that quite a few times. Said scrum feed when it is a line-out and said that it was a line-out throw when it was a scrum. But the Sharks at this stage now, They have still got this ball just inside of their own half as well. Just looking for a bit of phase play, trying to find that one gap that will lead them to victory here. But it is going to be tough. So far, the Western Province, their defence has been looking pretty solid in the later stages of this first half. But they don't want to end up giving away a penalty here. That's a big thing. Because if you give away an advantage, it's going to be kicked high by Kerwin Bosch. And it's going to be chased by Ward now. Bodley lining up the man. Oh, that was not quite taken nicely by Sergio Peterson. And now they've got the knock-on advantage here, the Sharks. And they are playing the advantage. Bosch at the back line. Vernon He's got the man on the outside. Steps on the inside round Ruas, though. And he does make a couple extra meters. They get him within almost 30 meters now. Bodley now trying to run over the top of the toy, who was able to make a very good tackle there. And it's going to be an advantage. Oh, no. Now, unfortunately, the man who hasn't had a good day, it's just going to get a bit worse for him. Renak Fenta has given away that penalty. And now that is going to be straight out in front, which will give the gift of the Sharks of being able to get into lead as well. I also bet the Crusaders have a ton of arrogant fans too, as I says Kanakoinen. I think they do. I mean, sometimes even when me and George are doing the live streams, he is like Crusaders fan, like 100%. So like seeing that final of Super Rugby Trans-Tasman where it was the Highlanders and the Blues, I think it broke him a little bit on the inside. And we always got there in the chat about a fortnight ago. And so who do you support? I'm not sure whether that is me or to Kanakuinen. I think it was Munster and Ireland, though. I generally want Munster to win the Rainbow Cup, or wanted, sorry. But I can't lie, Benetton produced quite a memorable upset. They did indeed. No one expected them to make it to the final. No one expected them to win the final. And they were able to do both. And that was a big performance against the Bulls as well on a hot day in Italy. I think they said that it was like 38 degrees, but they were able to handle the heat and they were able to get that Rainbow Cup win. He's got that one over Kerwin Bosch, and that is going to be the lead now for the Sharks with only 4.5 minutes left now. And that is unfortunately could be the match winner. It was a big mistake from Fenta. The call was to leave the ball. He decided, I'll have a go at that one. And then in the end gave away the penalty. And we have also got the I like Munster, huge admiration of Ronan O'Gara. I'm Irish too. Actually, I have both jerseys as well, says Gary Miller. And that is going to be an advantage now for the Western Province. This game's not over yet. And at this stage, 4 minutes left. And they have got the advantage for the knock-on. Are they going to be able to make something? Oh, it's going to be a penalty for not rolling away. And now they're going to get the win straight back. Or they're going to get the lead straight back, I should say. And Tim Swill now. Is he going to be going for the shot? Of course he is. And this is now going to be the Sharks giving the lead back to the Western Province. Woo, Sharks is this, says Gillian. I feel like that message came through before that penalty, but there is still going to be around 3 minutes left after this kick. Possibly goes over from Tim Swill for them to be able to get the lead back in this one. But at this stage, these two sides just going back and forth. And I feel like it's one of those matches. I said at the start it was going to be close. I said it was going to be high scoring. And at this stage, it has ticked both boxes. And I feel like it is going to be one of those matches that once again, as most of the games that I watch for South African rugby do, it's going to be going down to the wire and the leaders back in the side of the Western Province. Tim Swill able to get that one over. We will add that to the scoreboard now. 32 points to the Western Province, 31 to the Sharks with only 2 minutes 45 left in this one now. They have to go short with this kickoff. They can't afford to go too long and not get this one back. Taken nicely by Sergio Peterson. He was lined up in the tackle, though, by the number 20 there. And at this stage now, the Western Province, they're looking like they want to close this game out, but, oh, that's a great run because of the fact that they need to get themselves further down the field so that if the penalty does come, it's not an easy kick. He has kicked that one downfield now. Was Paul DeVette, who was able to kick it, taken almost nicely. Little knock-on, though, by the Sharks player. And now Efan Royce with the knock-on, and it's going to be the scrum feed. Now the Western Province so far, they have looked decent at scrum time. So maybe this is going to be their opportunity to get a scrum against the feed. But Efan Royce there, he has been very dangerous in this match. His try, where he just literally carried the man on his back for 22 meters, was extremely impressive. And we have, let's go, oh gosh, there's Gillian as well, although it's not over yet. We are still very close in this one as well. And we have also got the IMI. A lot of teams rugby in the USA is still hardly recognised. Supporting the sport is more important than fighting over what teams you support, says Gary Miller. I feel like that should go on a T-shirt because that is like pretty much the motto that we follow here. I mean, it's one of those ones you guys in the chat normally have your favorite sides, but the way I always look at the games is pretty much straight down the middle, because I love watching both sides kind of play tactically and also having their own moments in the game that I guess sometimes if you are supporting one side, like full on, like supporting them, sometimes you miss the good things that the other side do. So I absolutely love following the games from the middle, and also it makes the commentary a lot more fun as well. But yeah, at this stage on the halfway line, the Western Province have got the scrum feed with 1 minute left in this game. And we have got Hamish, could you provide a brief description of the Currie Cup? I'm not familiar with the format and the teams. I will quickly put the table up as well. So these are the teams who are in the competition. But quickly, we will have the last minute of this game, and then I will give you the brief rundown. Sebastian, that's going to be out the back line now. And it's in the hands of St. Atlas. Straight on the ball, though, was Bolly. He's going to win the penalty for his side. Yes, he is, for the Sharks. What is going on? This game's going to go down to the wire. Extremely close by the looks of it. They're going to have one last chance. Timbulani Bolly, the man who was able to score a try early on in the match. But pretty much there are these sides. So each round there are 3 games. And everyone at the end of it, I believe there are 13 or 14 rounds, and everyone plays each other twice. So each round there will be one side that have the bye, and then the other sides will play off. And it is the same as the Rainbow Cup South Africa, with 4 points for a win, 1 point for a bonus, or 1 bonus point for being, it's almost stolen there. And it's been in the hands of the Western Province now. They just need to get this ball into touch, and they're going to. And the Western Province win the game in the final moment of the game. Kick it into touch. Said thanks very much. And that is the try, or the final moment of the game, I should say. But yeah, everyone plays each other twice, and then there is a a semi-final and a final, I believe it is, or 2 semi-finals. And then from there, yeah, you're into the final, and whoever wins that wins the Currie Cup. But it's a little bit similar to the Rainbow Cup format in terms of the factor of everyone kind of plays everyone twice. And then from there, you go on to whoever has the most points moves into the semi-final and final. And I think it's provincial rather than the kind of Super Rugby teams, if that makes sense. I don't actually know that much about the competition myself, but I think it is done off province rather than the kind of Super Rugby teams, because of the fact that the Western Province, they are actually the Stormers in Super Rugby. The Sharks are the Natal Sharks in this competition, but they are the South Sea Sharks in the actual Super Rugby kind of thing as well, I think, or they will be in the United Rugby Championship, I should say, now that they are going to be moving into that as well. Just discovered NRL and AFL in the last 2 years. Amazing sports with great stars, says Gary. Yeah, I feel like I want to follow the NRL a lot more than I've been able to recently. And it's purely because of the fact that there's that much rugby on at the moment. It makes it extremely hard to be able to watch those games as well. But yeah, hopefully in the coming months, I will be able to squeeze in a few NRL games. I might do a live stream for the third match of the, the State of Origin for the third match. That should be a good one to watch as well. But yeah, at this stage, I will look through some stats as well in this matchup. I may even have a post-match guest, if I'm not wrong, depending on how it goes. But yeah, this match was a very close one. As you can see by the scoreline, this try scorers for the Sharks in this one, they were, Bolly was the first try scorer. Then from there, Hendricksa, was able to score twice. And also there was a try for someone else who I've forgotten the name of now, unfortunately. Who was the fourth try scorer? Was it Mbata? I think it was Mbata who was able to score the other try, if I'm not wrong. I might be able to find that information. Yes, it was Mbata. And then for the Western Province, Paul De Vet and also Ifan Ruas. And you got that situation of, at the end of the day, Tim Swell was able to kick over those penalties. And I said at the around halftime mark that, you know, as you kind of move through the match, getting 15 points from penalties, in the end it would have been 18. Those were the difference points in those matches. I got that around the wrong way. Those were the difference points in the match, I think was what I was trying to say. But yeah, very close game indeed. I want to quickly see the poll. It has 56% for the Western Province. So it was right in that regard. Those are actually sometimes accurate, sometimes not so accurate accurate. Like my speech at the moment doesn't seem to want to work, and it's currently 4:50 a.m. here in New Zealand. So I feel like that is why it is trying not to work too well. But what I will quickly do is I will see if I can get ourselves a special guest for the last stages of this live stream. We will do a quick post-match review. So we'll get that going as well. But do let me know what you guys thought of that match into the chat as well. Hope you did enjoy the commentary for the live stream, even though my cold, I think it is pretty much gone, which is good news. So hopefully it does continue for that regard for the weekend as well. And we have got, I respect Leinster, but hate them. Used to like them, but their fans are extremely arrogant and think they will win everything. I feel like the way you got to settle that one is Leinster versus the Crusaders. I feel like that's the match that everyone wants to see, but we probably never will get to see it, unfortunately. So Leinster versus someone like maybe the Bulls might be as far as we get to see in that regard as well. But yeah, hopefully you guys have all enjoyed that match as well. It was extremely close. It didn't seem like either side were going to be taking that backward step. And unfortunately, right at the last minute, the Sharks, they were able to win that penalty, but then unfortunately just not able to capitalize on it. Thanks for everything. I'm a tad sad. Yeah, it's not the way that you want to lose a game right at the final moments of the game. Like, they won that penalty, which I thought then was going to give them the win. But then unfortunately from there, it just didn't quite end up going their way at the end. And I will give me a thumbs up if you are ready to go as well. And I will add you to the stream, mate. And we have, right, we are good to go. Right, special guest time. We have got the rugby guru with us here. And unfortunately, mate, once again, oh, that's the wrong button. One moment. There we go. Side by side. Not the result that you would have been wanting, unfortunately, for you.
No. It was a pretty devastating loss there at the end. Too many errors from the Sharks, just leading to them losing this game. Discipline was pretty poor, and although I feel they've had plenty of opportunities to win it, just couldn't pull it. And I felt like pulling out my hair when they lost that last line out, or even when Kevin Bosch only made 5 meters on a kick. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it was just, I feel like that game from the halfway kind of mark, it just always seemed like it was going to be close and go down to the wire. And that run, like, even though, of course, you are a Shark supporter, Effin Ruiz, like, the way he just carried Hendrickson for like 20 meters and just kind of kept on going, like, how do you stop him?
Yeah, no, that was ridiculous, man. There's two things that happened in this game that absolutely blew my mind. The first one was that run from Takir Abrams from his own try line, which led to Hendrickson's try, and then Effin Ruiz taking Jaden Hendrickson from his own, or from the 22-meter line up to over the try line. You just don't see that stuff happening in a game anymore.
Yeah, that was phenomenal skill from Abrahams. Like, the way he got tackled by Swill straight back to the feet as if nothing had happened. Like, somehow, like, I feel like he made it look like something that's very easy to do. But, like, falling over, then finding your, like, center of gravity again with, like, how narrow his feet were at the time, and then just keep running, offload on the inside and get the try. Like, that is some serious skill. And then Effin Ruiz just power as well.
No, Takir Abrams definitely reminds me a lot of Cheslin Colby, but we've in fact had a couple of guys that resembles the stepping skills of Cheslin. We know Edwolf van der Merwe, although he's been really quiet in this game, also known for his stepping ability. But I must say, I'm really impressed by both those players that you just mentioned. And I even mentioned it before I started my live stream. I said, Effin Ruiz is definitely going to play for the Boks in about a year or two's time. So I'm happy that he had a good game. It just backs up my theory there.
Yeah, someone in the chat also said that he should be a Bok, and that was around 5 minutes or so before he had that massive run. Like, Hendrickson, no matter what he could do there, like, he wasn't stopping him. Like, Ruiz was just like, that's the try line, you're on my back, but I don't care, I'll just keep on going. And yeah, unfortunately, because that's the thing, the Western Province taking those 3-pointers early, did you think that was the smart decision all the way through, or did you think they may have gone for that bonus point at some stage by kicking for the corner and trying to get that rolling ball going?
Yeah, I don't know what the thoughts are, but I know that there was a lot of influence from the touch.
Yeah.
Probably a call from the coach to. It didn't make sense that they turned down the first attempted goal kick and then decided to go for goal when they were 10 meters out from the try line on the attack. So it was really strange seeing them doing that, but it's definitely not a call from Alan van Rijn. It definitely came from the coaching box that time, and it cost them in the end. Only 2 tries from the Western Province.
And the table at the moment, I believe they will be sitting, I think it's going to pop up above your face, I'm sorry, but
No
at this
problem.
stage, they will be sitting on 11 points. So just ahead of the Bulls because of that cancelled game. So at this stage now, the Pumas taking on the Griquas. The Pumas will have an opportunity to move into first if they can get that bonus point win. And also maybe they will need to win it by 6 more points than the Western Province did, but that would mean only winning it by about 10 or so points up against the Griquas, which is probably pretty doable in the situation, do you think? Or do you think the Griquas may be able to pull off the upset?
Oh, you never know what Griquas team will show up. They remind me a lot of you can't really say the cheaters, but you got that little bit of a fringe thing with the Griquas because one day they're brilliant and the next day they're terrible. But one thing I must say is that Puma's side, being coached by Stonehouse, is doing phenomenally well. They're a well-drilled team, and they've got some really good players there as well, which I think will definitely be moving on to bigger provinces in the future. But for now, I think the Pumas have got a really good chance of at least reaching the semi-finals at this stage.
Yeah. Because, of course, Emirates Lions, they are going to be taking on the British and Irish Lions. And that is going to be in only a couple days' time, which will be a very interesting matchup for them as well. Because where are they at the moment on the table? I believe they are sitting, are they not quite dead last? No, they have got the 5 points, but they are sitting in 6th place at the moment. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. But also, we have got a few people in the chat still as well. We have got, in there, Scrumless has said, hey to the rugby guru. Also, people talking about Leinster's arrogant fans as well is one of the talking points that we have got. And what an awesome stream, mate. Thank you. Have a lekker Thursday as well from Birdie. Thank you very much for tuning as well. Bosch should go to Stormers as well, says 11J said. And also greetings to the guru. Very nice of him to join. What do you think about Bosch going to the Stormers, first of all?
Oh, well, look, you have to feel sorry for Bosch. I've given him so much slack in the last couple of games that he's played in. I don't know him on a personal level. I actually know his brother. We used to have a few drinks together in the past. So there's that connection between him. But, when you're not good enough, you're just not good enough. It's unfortunately how it is. I don't know whether it is the coaching of Sean Everett that's not working out for Bosch, and whether he should just maybe move back to fullback, or he just needs to move to a new province and start fresh, because there's definitely something wrong with his play. We don't see that confidence that we saw earlier last year when they had the Super Rugby unlocked, where he was really good. But since then, his game has just gone backwards. And it might be a little bit of arrogancy from him, because the time when Robert de Pre was the coach of the Sharks, he insisted on playing fly-off when Robert de Pre Jr. was actually the starting fly-off. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe better fullback than fly-off, but I wouldn't mind if he leaves, honestly.
And that is from a Sharks supporter as well, isn't it? So it's gonna be interesting. We've also got in there the chat between Leinster fans and Munster at this stage is still going. Leinster fans are awesome. Don't mind that Munster man as well from Mark. We've also got, honestly, even if you're trying to be neutral during Leinster versus Munster, you can't help but root for Munster as well, says Sebastian. And we have also got, I like Bosch, but sometimes that's the sort of change players need as well, says 11J said. And also we have got Barry in the chat, as said, if he got that kick, it would have been 35-32 as well. See, that's the thing. I feel like both sides, like that penalty that I don't think Renok Fenter, I believe is how you pronounce it, maybe, if I'm not wrong. to me, he really didn't have a great game. Like a lot of line-out throws just didn't end up going straight. And then also that penalty that he gave away right at the end, it seemed like it was going to be what cost the Western Province the game, like right at that final moment. But then straight away, the Sharks ended up giving away that penalty that then gave the Western Province that lead back. Because if I look at some stats here, it's not going to let me see them. I had them earlier on in the match, and it was the lineouts. And I believe the lineouts, they had 60% of the lineouts. They had go there. Yeah, they had 3 from 5 after the first half. But unfortunately, it hasn't got them here. But I would think that maybe around that 60% was as high as it would have gotten for the full match, which, like, in terms of Mbata, he had a very good game overall for the other side, but then also a few lineouts that weren't going straight, although it didn't look like very nice weather, did it, there at Cape Town?
No. There's actually a storm in Cape Town at the moment. So last night it just hit the Cape area, or the Western Cape overall. And you could see it basically in the game, the kicks from Kevin Bosch that didn't go over, that he normally would have slotted. I think on a normal day, Kevin Bosch would have gone for goal with that last penalty on the 10-meter line. So, yeah, it's unfortunately part of the weather is part of the game. But for me, Reinhard Venter, I think that was his first run-on game for the Western Province. He came from the Cheetahs. So he did really well at the Cheetahs, but for some reason, he just couldn't find his jumpers today. And I was surprised by that. Fez Mbata, on the other hand, had a brilliant game. And it was an area where the Sharks normally tend to struggle with lineouts and scrums. And we actually saw a turnaround in that. We saw the Western Province struggling at scrum time. We saw them struggling at lineout time. And I was really surprised that they actually managed to pull this through. On a normal day, with that sort of things happening, you would see the opposition maybe run away with it by 10 points plus. But the Sharks' discipline, I think, was the turning point in this game as well.
Because a total of, I had the numbers there as well. I feel like half of them disappear at full time, which is slightly unfortunate. But 60% possession in the end for the Sharks, and also 62% territory as well. Because that's the thing, the Western Province in that first half, they ended up kind of just taking the threes, but then they didn't have much ball at all, which then looked like it was almost a given that the Sharks were going to be able to get that bonus point for scoring the 4 tries. So the big question was, were the Western Province going to be able to do so? And they did miss out. So it's going to be interesting to see. At this stage, it seems like it's going to be quite a close finish to this competition, similar to the Rainbow Cup, with maybe, it could be close as well. And we have got, I started it, sorry guys, the Leinster versus Munster chat is still going off in the chat at the moment. And we have also got in there, he even admitted to trashing the room out of frustration. I feel like I must have missed what happened there earlier on for accidental offside call against the ABs, I think was the one earlier on. 50-metre penalty, he missed Bosch. That kick miss kick cost them the game as well, says Barragreen. But then saying that, I mean, you could say the same thing about the penalty they gave away in the 75th. Like, if they didn't give that away, that wasn't the 3 points that the Western Province were getting back. You know, there's plenty of moments in the game, like asking a man to kick a kick from 50 metres out when the wind's going like that is not exactly...
No.
Like, you don't want to be that guy who gets the call up for that.
And I don't know if you realize that there were 6 lead changes throughout the game. That the game actually a seesaw battle between the two. And that's any commentator like we do, any dream of ours to have a game like that, going seesaw battle. There was a time that I was even smiling for the Western Province, the way they defended on their own try line there in the first half. People were saying, you're really in a happy mood, you're smiling all the time. And I was like, no, I'm smiling at the Western Province defense because it's so brilliant. They're keeping the Sharks out every time 1 meter short. And great effort from them. They probably deserve to win that in the end.
So do you know how long the Cape Town Storm kind of is going to be hanging around? Because is it going to affect any of the games for the British and Irish Lions tour, do you think? Because is that Emirates game going to be played at Cape Town Stadium as well?
So no, they did. I did read some of the news this morning, but it is expected to continue on until maybe around Sunday. So the new week will probably clear up. There is a few floodings at the moment all around the Western Cape. I think Cape Town is not hit so badly, or more likely the parts around Cape Town. But overall, I think it should be clearing up by Monday, and everything should be ready for the weekend.
Okay, that is great news as well, because we of course know as soon as you have rain and wind, like it can completely change a team's tactics as well. And I feel like against the British and Irish Lions so far, I mean, the game against Japan, they were able to get those 4 tries. And do you think the Emirates Lions are going to be able to do better than Japan in South Africa? Or do you think it may be a runaway for the British and Irish Lions again?
I don't want to lie now, but I think the last time the Lions played the Lions, it was something like a 70-point drubbing that the South African Lions got. So, yeah, that time the Lions rugby was pretty poor. So even now, not the greatest. They do have a couple of really good players in that side, but defensively, the British and Irish Lions have been brilliant, so I don't see the Lions scoring too many tries against the British and Irish Lions. So, give or take, I would say maybe a 50-pointer coming up for the British and Irish Lions to win.
Okay.
Just remember, we don't have any Springboks available for that Lions game, and so many youngsters in that Lions team. But maybe they up their game, and we could end up, I would say, between 30 and 50 points on the day. I just don't think that the Golden Lions will have any chance whatsoever.
Right. Okay. You heard it here first. Although your predictions normally are actually pretty spot on, because I remember the first one that we did, you said the exact score, and you said, I think it was Bulls by 15 or something like that, and it was exactly what the match was. So from there, I have pretty much listened to exactly what you say for every prediction. So yeah, going to be a tough day at the office for the Emirates Lions.
It's a pity, but we have to be realistic at the end of the day, unfortunately. As much as I want the Lions to do well, I just don't see them doing any good against the British and Irish Lions.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting match, though, of course, for the first match played in South Africa for that British and Irish Lions tour. But for anyone who is just tuning in now, the Western Province able to sneak a 1-point win, 32 points to the 31 of the Sharks at full time. The try scorers, Jaden Hendrickson was able to get 2, Demalani Bolly was able to get 1, and also Fez Mbata was able to get the other for the Sharks. Then the Western Province, just the 2 tries in this one. Paul de Vet able to score the first try, and then Efan Roas given Jaden Hendricks a piggyback ride, allowing him to go all the way to the try line to be able to score that one as well. But yeah, I think we are getting close to the end of this live stream as well. Hope you did all enjoy Tell Guru about the outbidding each other. It was crazy. It was indeed. I assume that you have heard about that one on the live stream the
it's
other
crazy,
weekend.
Man. I was jealous. I was just jealous for a second there, because how much did you make at the end of the day? Because that was a massive bidding war.
I don't know what happened, because it's the thing of, I think people thought it was a bidding war for the slap of George, but it was actually 2 guys in the chat wanted to be our highest donator, and then also another guy in the chat said, like, I'll give you $20 to slap George. But then he didn't want to donate it before slapping George, of course. So we've been in that circumstance of, I had to break an egg on my head. And one of the people who were like, we'll donate if you break the egg, we're like, oh, actually, I can't donate, sorry. So I've always since that time been like, right, it's got to be on the table first.
I did tell them when I did mention it, because I think they mentioned it in my Cheetah Greek word game. To me, I said I would have slapped I'm not going to swear on your channel, but George would have felt it.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that I didn't know that YouTube donations could go that high. Like, I always thought it was like 30 or something like that, maybe 50 at max, but the highest someone donated was like 300, which
Yeah, no,
is
you can. I think you can go up to 170 pounds. Is the highest bet you can make. That's around
right.
3,500 rand in SA money. I don't know how much it is in New Zealand dollars, but yeah, that is a
Mm,
huge donation. To get
yeah.
what Miss Barry says, you got 600 New Zealand dollars. That's
Mm.
insane.
Although I did see YouTube quite enjoyed some of that as well. Of course, I don't think we're allowed to talk about the percentages and whatnot, but yeah, YouTube liked the situation as well. Look at
Yeah.
Hamish and Guru trying to professionally do their job while we're at each other's necks here as well, says Sebastian. Yeah, you guys at this stage. Having a bit of an argument, but I feel like it's still quite a tame one compared to some of the ones that you see in the chat. Like as soon as you say Barrett or Moonga at 10, like YouTube just like the chat just
Yeah.
attacks kind of thing as well. And we have
Wait,
also got
till-
they want to
wait, till- wait, wait till we get a Springboks All Black game. That's going to be
do.
massive.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting, isn't it? And that's only going to be a month and a half, 2 months away, I think,
Yeah.
as well. One of them's going to be only 2.5 hours south. Maybe, just maybe, we might have to look at sending George to the game, getting the feel for the atmosphere. I feel
Yeah.
like, although he did say to me, if I send him to a game, he's not doing any filming. This is the comment he made. He was like,
Okay.
I'm not doing a vlog, I'm just watching the game.
Oh, that's a
But
pity. I would
yeah,
love to do that, but I've seen with 2 Cents that he said that they are quite strict with the game footage. So
mm,
you're not allowed to show any game footage of the game actually recorded, but you can do around the stadiums. What I even think of doing if I have to go to a game, do some interviews with the fans, hear what they have to say,
mm.
get the consent to drop it on a video, and then go from there. It would be amazing. I can't wait for
Mm,
live games again.
so when do you think that will be in South Africa? I know that for the British and Irish Lions tour, they're not allowed any crowd that I know of. Like how many months? Because at this stage, level 4's just come back as well, hasn't it?
Mm. Yeah, I guess probably next year only, Hamish. I don't see any international games being played with fans this year. So hopefully, with a few more vaccinations and some good luck from our side, we might end up having some internationals with fans when the new season starts next year. Hopefully, even with the Rugby United Championship, maybe. But it all's
Yeah.
going to depend on how we get our vaccinations done.
Mm. Oh, yeah, got Scarlet said YouTube likes to slice a lot off the cheese as well. And send George to the game, oh please, oh please, oh please, and make him do stuff as well. See, I feel like he'd probably want it to be a paid gig, even though like it would probably be me buying him his ticket to the game. Like he'd probably still want some form of KFC or something along those lines to make it worth the while.
Make him slap a Springbok supporter, then we'll see what happens.
We'd just see the news headline of massive brawl breaks out at All Blacks versus Springboks.
Yeah.
And then they'd show like the footage and you'd just see George like just whack someone over the head with a chicken drumstick. And then it just all goes off. Whoever's got you guys must do a match, the Guru Vipers versus the Kiwi Lads Rugby Challenge 4 as well. Ooh. So I'd have to get a squad together for that to be able to occur. And it says, but make it a 3-match test. So I might have to do some scouting. Have to work out which ones of my subscribers play what positions.
Yeah, we should. We have been wanting to test the connection for a while now, and we haven't got to it. So maybe we should definitely just try it at some stage doing a game, just to see how the connection is.
Yeah, because they did say that they tried to improve the service, but then we'll have to wait and see whether or not that is the case.
No confidence in those guys, man.
We've also got, you should check out the Welsh and the English. They rip into each other, as well as this kind of Kuainen. And also thoughts on Conor Murray as Lions captain. What do you think about that?
I was pretty surprised. I thought they were going to go with Owen Farrell as the backup captain there because he is probably the most popular player in the British and Irish Lions squad. When I think they did a poll on it in the Lions camp a while back. So originally, I would have thought the captaincy would have gone to either Alun Jones or Owen Farrell, and there was talks of Maro Itoje getting the captaincy as well. So I was pretty surprised when it went to Conor Murray, but it probably makes sense because if you look at the 3 9s that they've got in Gareth Davis and Ali Price, then Conor Murray is probably the one guy that is certain of his starting berth. So it does make sense, and he's got the experience. And overall, not too terrible choice. It's definitely not one that I would have seen coming.
We have also got in there in the chat as well, really thought Farrell would have gotten it, and also Owen Farrell equals Draco Malfoy as well. And I also like Murray as captain, says 11J said, and also I was surprised to see Murray as captain, but good luck to him. Hope he wins the series as well. Yeah, it could be interesting to see whether or not, I feel like those games, between the Springboks and the British and Irish Lions, they're going to be some exciting matchups. Like the Springboks, we're going to get to see it for the first time, like in 2.5 years, is it now? Or somewhere around there. Like, it's going to be interesting. I guess because it's against Georgia, it's one of those ones that maybe it won't be the same kind of matchup as if it was against someone like maybe the All Blacks or the Wallabies or someone like that. But then those games against the British and Irish Lions, like the physicality of the Springboks, 15 out on the field. I was wondering what that noise was. It's my cat at the window. I thought someone was like knocking on the window at that stage. But yeah, it's going to be exciting, and it is only a little while away. And we have also got big Kiwi lads. What do you think of the Rugby Guru haircut? I find it funny, lol, from Barry Green as well. I think
what's wrong with my haircut, Dad?
Because have you shaved the beard a little bit as well, or is it just the haircut?
Everything. No, it's the haircut and a little bit of beard. So yeah, I might look a little bit weird to some people after a while. So yeah, but this is actually how I normally look like.
See, because that's the thing. I've been growing the mustache for a while, and I have to keep on shaving this part. So I'm wondering whether or not the mustache would ever come off, because it's only just getting to the stage of actually looking not completely terrible, but it still doesn't look great, of course. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe at the end of the tour or something, I might look at doing something with it.
We should make a bet.
Oh,
the
no.
One that loses between the Springboks and the All Blacks later must cut all their hair.
Wait, that cut out a little bit, and I'm worried that it's what was the?
Oh, it cut out a bit. So I'll repeat myself. I'll say if whoever loses the game, but you're playing in New Zealand, so hang on, wait before I make that bet.
The internet may have just saved you.
we might have to put in a handicap somewhere as well, but say for instance the one that wins between the All Blacks and the Springboks later this year, the one that loses must cut off all his hair.
See, I feel like you've just said a haircut though, so it's the easier. This is quite long at this stage. It's that long it goes. We might have to decide a bit closer to the time.
Yeah, no, let's leave it for now.
We've also got in there, Farrell has had a dismal season so far, and considering he was part of the championship standard Saracens, and you won't argue with the ref like Farrell, or he won't argue with the ref like Farrell might. And you're not referring to his tackle technique, are you? George loves Owen Farrell's tackle technique. He mentions it every time we play Rugby Challenge. Anytime there's a high tackle, he goes, is that Owen Farrell? But we've also got there 100 votes in the poll as well, which is pretty awesome. And it is exactly 155% for the Western Province. So I guess in the end, that was the case. It's weird to see the Rugby Guru with a new haircut, says Barry Green. I mean, I guess in a way, if you have seen you kind of all the time for like kind of live streams each weekend, and then all of a sudden it does go. It's kind of like, you know, when you used to be at like primary school and someone showed up after like the 6-week break and you're like, hey, you look different. You've done something, and it's because of that haircut. Yeah. So I feel like, see, that's the thing. People are going to get a shock if I ever get rid of this or the mustache, probably. They won't even recognize me without the long hair.
It will be really strange. But luckily for me, my newborn child didn't cry when she saw me after my haircut. So it couldn't be too terrible because she just saw me with a bunch of hair and a little beard. So probably not too frightening.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. This hair has been growing since Christmas, not last year, but the year before, I think. And I'm worried that if I cut it all off, it's not coming back. So it's like, it's one of those ones, you got to keep it while you can, I guess, as well. And we've also got, as always, it always grows back, Hamish, in the Rugby Guru, says Gary Miller. And then someone has said also shave your eyebrows instead. They grow back quick. Ooh. As well, says Scrum Lass. Ooh. How long does it take to grow back an eyebrow?
Damn, I don't think work is going to, or my boss is going to be too happy with me if I have to do a meeting with him and I've got no eyebrows. Imagine
you just have to be like, well, if the Springboks won, I could still have these. Like 2 days, says Scrum Lass as well. You can always draw them back on. And cheers, mate, says Gary. And also, Guru, sadly, lockdown can't have your special drink, no alcohol, need vodka for a special drink.
I can. There we go.
Yes, you did mention you've still got a slight supply, so you are able to.
Lockdown didn't kill me completely.
Yeah, we've also got guys see you around. It was a good stream, Kiwi Lads as well, says Kana Koinan. So thank you very much for tuning in, mate. And please tell me you don't do that as well, says Gary Miller. I assume that it's for shaving off her eyebrows. I assume maybe a trim might be on the kind of. I don't know of many people who shave their eyebrows off on purpose, because normally it's when you wake up and you're missing one and you're like, uh-oh, someone's done that, unfortunately. And we have also got, what's your lockdown like? The Kiwi Lad says Barry Green. I mean, we haven't actually had anything too serious. Wellington went into level 2 lockdown, which meant no crowds for the games played there. But overall, we've been pretty fortunate. Although I've almost, I guess, been in lockdown anyway, purely because of the fact that I normally end up like waking up during the night, so you can't really go anywhere because it's kind of everywhere's shut. So it's kind of, I edit during the night and sleep during the day, like a vampire, I guess you could say. So at this stage, it hasn't been too bad, like overall in this region. Hopefully, touch wood, we get to see all of the rugby championship matches and everything go ahead with crowds. Because I feel like Springboks versus All Blacks is a game that unless you've got 30,000 plus in the crowd, like it's just not the same.
No.
That
would be good.
So yeah, maybe there may be a forfeit involved, possibly. You and Night Owl Kiwi Lads, as well, says Barry Green. I am, now that I've started doing live streams. Like, I feel like it's one of those ones that before live streams, I kind of had a normal-ish sleep schedule, like maybe midnight. Most nights I'll be close to the finishing my editing. And it's also YouTube in general. Do you have late nights as well, possibly?
Yeah, no, look, like you know, I basically work at nighttime most of the time. So apart from the streaming and stuff, when I started YouTube, I went full out. You know, it was working on YouTube the whole day, throughout the night, trying to get everything going. And then I started working as well. So the time zones are absolutely terrible. 8 to, what is it, a 12-hour difference or 10-hour difference in time. So you have to be up at night to work, and then you sleep a little bit during the day, and then wake up again. So yeah, you could say I'm a night owl most of the time, yeah.
Because that's the thing. At the start of doing YouTube, I always thought to myself, because you hear about YouTubers who have like that late night kind of editing during the night schedule. And I thought at the start, I was like, oh, no, that's not going to be me. I'll still sleep when I normally do. And then also, just completely went out the window, I guess. And now it's 5 a.m. here in New Zealand, and we're doing a post-match review. We've also got in the chat that someone might shave off their eyebrows and put it on Instagram. Don't do that. Unless, of course, you do want to, of course. And we have also got there, hi, Hamish, I'm better now, says James Gordon. That is good news, mate. I ended up getting a cold late last week, but luckily I think it's almost passed, and it's kind of the perfect time for it too, before the All Blacks play. Like, I would have hated it to be this weekend rather than last. And we have also got in there Bears Gamer has said, hey, Kiwi lads, who's this youngster you've got on the channel with you? Oh, wait, it's a clean-shaven rugby guru. Hope you're well, lads. And we are indeed. And he is clean-shaven, aren't you?
Yeah, just for a while.
Maybe even more clean-shaven if we do come up with a forfeit that could get rid of an eyebrow or two for the Springboks versus All Blacks. I feel like, no, we might not. I feel like maybe we'll just play some sort of game on Rugby Challenge. Maybe you play as the Springboks, I play as the All Blacks, and we do some sort of fun thing involving that as well.
We'll come up with a few ideas.
Yeah, we have got plenty. Well, I say we've got plenty of time. I thought we had plenty of time for the British and Irish Lions tour, and then it's here straight away. And we have also got could go with hurt and heal over the eyes as well, says Gary Miller. And also I've actually shaved my beard and head as well, says Bertie. And I assume that is since the picture in your profile. And we have also got there Guru, when you had to picture over years being on YouTube, when you first started until now, how you think how you think was your experience? Oh, you feel the years have, or how you think the years have been. I think that is from Barry as well.
Well, I haven't been on YouTube that long. It does say that I've been here for a couple of years, but I actually only started, when was it? At the end of, basically at the end of 2019 or mid 2019. So it's been around 2 years now. But yeah, we have changed a lot over 2 years. I think my confidence have grown a lot from when I first started. I listened to a video I did the other day, and yeah, I was trying to delete that video as quickly as possible, saying, who's this guy? It's not me. But yeah, a lot has changed in 2 years' time.
See, that's the thing. Looking back at our first videos, I used to say 2 words a video with me and George. He used to have to do all the commentary, although this was before Rugby Challenge. I feel like Rugby Challenge, like, it was one of those ones I was like to George, I think we should do a few videos on Rugby Challenge. And he was like, oh, yeah, I guess so. And then we've kind of stuck with that, and then onto the rugby commentary and that kind of thing. But yeah, our first initial videos, I never used to say pretty much any words at all, which was weird because now I don't stop talking for like 4 hours straight for some live streams. Then we have also got there in the chat, did you see Lema Sapawanga is also considering trying to switch to play for Tonga? Says 11J said, I mean, that is something that a lot of players are looking at doing now. The likes of Fekatoa, I know, is playing for the Tongan 7 side. So he will be hoping to maybe continue into maybe the 15s for the Rugby World Cup. And I think it's one of those ones that I think we'll see more and more players doing it as we get closer to the World Cup, because like playing for your country in a World Cup is just like the pinnacle of the sport. And if there's a way of, I guess, not really sneaking into it, but if there is a way of being able to do that, like as a rugby player, you're going to take that chance. Like that's when the world's eyes are on the game. So you want to make sure that you're making the most of it and you're out there.
Yeah.
We also got there how you feel when you look back from you first started until now, as well, says Barry Green. And I will let you answer this one quickly while I try and see if my headphones cord is long enough and try and let the cat in.
Yeah, all right. So Barry, when you look back from your first start until now, it's ridiculous. I actually started YouTube with a Rugby 20 video way back. I just thought, let me upload this and see how it goes. And from there, it just went crazy. I mean, we've done so much more than just gaming on this channel. And when you've got the opportunity to do something like this that you love to do, it's just really nice. So, yeah, a lot has changed since then.
Nailed it. We also got there as well. A good forfeit would be recording your latest video in your opposition's team jersey. I think the Kiwi lads would look good in a Springbok shirt. I mean, I'd love to have a Springbok shirt. Like, I've already got a Chiefs kit in Canterbury. So, like, I haven't been out and about in it, of course, with it, like, as the top layer because I'd probably get murdered. But overall, like, I feel like I want to extend the collection. So maybe that would be a sneaky way of being able to do so. I'll be like, oh, I guess I have to buy a Springbok kit. But then really deep down, I'll be like, yes.
It's going to cost you a £50.
Yeah, tell you what, jerseys over here as well. Like, I wanted to get a Super Rugby kit, but I think even on special, they're about 120 New Zealand dollars, like after the season. So, yeah, maybe it would be a good excuse of being able to do so. And also, we have got Barry Green. How's your journey on Kiwi Lads or on YouTube Kiwi Lads? Well, we had this channel originally. It was called the Musketeers, and it wasn't related to rugby at all. Like, we had a couple old rugby videos on the likes of Rugby League Live, but we were it's quite funny. My old laptop didn't used to work properly. So I had my recording software for the gameplay, but it always corrupted or always ended up lagging out or something. So it was always about a minute clips of us saying weird stuff and just zoomed in like of our faces, because the gameplay, we could never get it because it kept on breaking. So now we kind of transitioned into that kind of more gaming route and rugby, and I don't think we're going to be going anywhere else. We've got the other gaming channel that now is based on gaming more generally, because I feel like we're down that rugby rabbit hole, and it will be a hard one to probably jump out of at this stage as well. But we have also got I have school soon, says Jones Gordon. That is not ideal. You might have to try and get some sleep before school starts. And we have also got there in the chat, Crusaders, I'll send you my Chiefs jersey. So you can give me a picture in it as well. Says Gary Mill. I assume that it's 2 scrum less, so Jets. I got to go. Hamish, enjoy the Thursday, and Guru, enjoy your evening as well, from Birdie. And thank you very much for tuning in, mate. And we have also got there, how many wins out of the 8 does the Guru predict for the British and Irish Lions tour of South Africa?
I'm going to go 6. They're going to win all their midweek games and then win one of the test matches and lose the other 2. So that would be 6 out of 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see. And we have also got Cheeky Man. I don't dress up for anyone but myself, says And at this stage, we have been going for 2 hours, 42 minutes. Fun fact. So anyone who is just tuning in now, I will quickly read through the try scorers once again. The Western Province, they were able to get 2 tries in this match. Paul de Vet and also Ifan Ruas. And then for the Sharks, Jaden Hendrickson getting 2. Thimbalani Boli and also Fez Mbata were the other try scorers as well. Yeah, it was an exciting matchup, and it did come down to the wire, like most of these games seem to be lately. Like, I found that for the Rainbow Cup South Africa, everyone just went down to the wire, and I didn't know who to pick until pretty much the final whistle, which, at this stage, I think it's going to be the same for the next few matches as well. Maybe it's the same for the Pumas Griquas. We will have to wait and see. But yeah, nonetheless, thank you very much for coming on the channel for the post-match review, Rugby Guru. For anyone who hasn't already, be sure to check his channel out as well. I was going to say will be in the description, but I will have to add it to the description as well. But yeah, be sure to check him out if you haven't already.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's always a pleasure joining you on the channel.
And yeah, hopefully we do a few more of these post-match reviews in the future as well, perhaps, for these matches. Although I do feel bad. Anytime I seem to almost have you on is when the Sharks have unfortunately only lost by like a couple points.
Right, so next time that the Sharks, when you come onto my channel for the post-match interview.
Sounds like a plan. Could be the way to go. And we always got Barry said, I'm sure Sharks and Bulls probably have a chance against the British and Irish Lions, although it does depend because of the fact that they will probably be missing a few players.
The Bulls will have the best chance. The Bulls will have the best chance because they will still have guys like Masal Kutsia. They're getting Johan Goos in there as well. And then they've got the likes of Ivan van Sale and Harold Foster now there as well. So just to make it short, the Bulls do have a good chance, although I don't think they will end up winning.
If I put on the Chiefs jersey, it would be to send some healing vibes to Sam Kane's chest muscle injury. I mean, come on, Sam, heal already, mate. We need you. As well as Scrum Lass. And yeah, this stage,
Not really.
Oh, harsh statement. You'd love to see him up against the Springboks, wouldn't you? Maybe.
Yeah, against the Springboks, yes.
Yeah.
No problem.
Give you that a better chance.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, that is going to be the end of this live stream. Thank you all very much for tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and check out the Rugby Guru like I mentioned as well. But we will see you all for the next one.
Cool, man.